McGee leads the Howard Bison into Gotham for the conference opener against Morgan State. It's a Beltway rivalry in this year's annual New York Urban League Football Classic right now. Welcome to college football primetime, presented by McDonald's. Here come the Howard Bison from East Rutherford, New Jersey, MetLife Stadium. A MEAC battle in the New York Urban League Football Classic. Here comes the Morgan State Bears. Howard and Morgan State in this 42nd annual New York Urban League Football Classic from New York City. So glad you could join us from Gotham. I'm Mark Neely, along with former NFL quarterback Jay Walker. Jay, what a setting for college football in a place where they played the Super Bowl just a few months back.
Well, they say that big-time players like to play on a big-time platform. It gets no bigger than New York City. You have to get excited for both programs and the opportunity to play in this stadium. And
this is the MEAC Conference opener for both these schools. For Howard, they do bring back last year's MEAC Conference Player of the Year and quarterback Greg McGee.
Greg McGee is special. He was Offensive Player of the Year in the conference last year for a reason. In his senior year, the four-year starter is trying to break all the records left that Ted White did not leave behind. What makes Greg McGee special, he throws a very nice ball with a tight spiral, but his ability to create something from absolutely nothing. Versus Rutgers, he was unstoppable, one-man wrecking crew. He's got great legs, and he really knows how to improvise on the play on demand. Greg McGee is probably the most feared offensive weapon in the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference.
Yeah, Howard had a chance to win that game at Rutgers just a few weeks back. Now, for Morgan State, first conference game for new head coach Lee Hull. The Morgan State offense, though, really is the matter of business he needs to address. And it seems like they are playing better football now.
They're doing well. They're averaging almost 28 points a game. They have a huge offensive line, one of the biggest in the country, and he's brought the pistol offense into the conference. How is the rest of the conference going to react? They've got Josh Council, a quarterback that's mobile enough to extend the play. They've got a great running back behind a great offensive line. This Morgan State offense is really getting the job done on the ground, averaging over 270 yards rushing per contest. It's going to be a tough task for the Howard defense today.
And Herb Walker leading Morgan State rushing. In fact, he's fifth in the FCS right now. You see that 153 yards per game? He is averaging an incredible 8.5 yards per carry. And Lee Hull in his first season as the Morgan State head coach. There is Lee, who was an assistant at Maryland, 6 years as a wide receiver coach. Also had been an assistant at Oregon State under Mike Riley. And now his first time as a head coach in college football, the former Holy Cross wide receiver. And there's Flea Gary Harrell in his third season. First year back, took a one-year leave of absence last year when Rayford Petty took over the helm. Now Rayford back as the defensive coordinator and Gary the head coach of his alma mater, the Howard Bison. And we're set to go as John Fleck kicks it away. And the short kick is going to bounce out of bounds at the 12. So the starting field position for Howard will be at their own 35-yard line.
Kickoff out of bounds on the kicking team. The ball will be placed at the 35-yard line. First down.
That is Donnell Leathers, our referee. And Morgan State out onto the field, and Robert Council, better known as Josh Council, their quarterback.
See, Council has great size, 6'4", 215 pounds, 48% passing percentage. If there's a flaw in the Morgan offense, it's the inability to throw the ball effectively downfield. But he's the starting quarterback because he's the most mobile quarterback they have on the roster.
As Walker in the backfield with a play fake, and on the first play of the game, going deep across the middle and incomplete at the 40-yard line of Howard. Intended for Ricky Fisk. Take a look at our impact players.
Well, we know Morgan wants to run the football, but when they do throw and have the opportunity for the big play, Thomas Martin's their big play wide receiver. And Devin Rollins, the junior from Miami, Florida, he's the vocal leader. He's the emotional leader. He's the guy that puts the Bison defense in the right defensive scheme from his middle linebacker position.
A second down and 10 for Morgan State. And the first carry for Herb Walker. And he runs for close to 10 up to the 45-yard line, tackled by Alston and Craig Johnson.
You're going to see a lot of this. They just get behind the big bodies up front and get forward lean, and Herb Walker is a really good running back at running to daylight. If you don't see white jerseys in the area, and you see a big scream of blue and orange jerseys, he will just put his small frame behind them, lean forward, and pick up positive yards.
Did pick up 10, so it's a first down for Morgan State at their own 45-yard line. Again, a carry. Herb Walker off right tackle. Met for a gain of about 2 to the 47. You talk about a big offensive line, Jay.
I told you they were big. Now, Arkansas is the largest line you see in FBS football. Morgan State is bigger than them by 3 pounds a man. So in this game here, they outweigh the defensive front from Howard by 48 pounds per person. They're huge. Just get behind them, get them in the right direction, and you can pick up yards on the ground.
Rolling out. Council finds a target, dropped by Spearman. Would have had a first down at the 40-yard line of Howard. Craig Johnson, the safety there on the coverage, but that's a ball that needs to be caught by Spearman.
Great job by Council extending the play. Didn't get comfortable in the pocket. Does a good job of keeping his vision upfield. Puts the ball right on the gloves, but Spearman trying to run before he makes the catch. Football 101. Make the catch first, secure the football, and then run.
Talk about the size of that line. That's Clarence Swaim, the center, redshirt senior, 360 pounds. He's helping boost that average there, Jay. Quick pass is completed. And a first down all the way up to the 40-yard line. That's Thomas Martin, run down by Cameron Alston. And a first down for Morgan State after a gain of 12.
Now, why do you want big bodies? Because when you have big bodies, they just get in the way. Watch number 76, the guard, Brandon Key, just get in the way. He's just getting in the way. And what does the receiver do? Find a way to hide behind all that mass. Very difficult to bring down.
Sometimes you can break blocking down to its most simplest form, Jay, and that's just getting in the way. First down for the Bears. Play fake. And he fires high, incomplete, intended for Tracy Martin. Want to make sure we keep the Martins separate from Morgan State. Yeah, wide receiver Thomas Martin. That's Tracy Martin, the running back 27, who went out for that pass.
And right now, it seems as if early on this first series, the Howard Bison defense is not doing a good job in recognizing the pistol offense. The misdirection is giving them trouble. Morgan's just a couple drop balls away from really putting the ball in scoring position already.
Bison defense kind of on their heels a little bit here, Jay.
Yes, they are. Morgan's missed opportunities.
And hand it off to Walker. Wrapped up at the 35-yard line by Eric Pittman, the weak side linebacker. We'll pick up a 5 for Walker, again, who came in averaging 8.5 yards per carry.
Now, when you have the pistol, you must recognize where the read back is coming from. They line up the tight end here. He's just going to be a lead blocker down here. You're going to see the running back look outside, but then decides to follow the block of the lead blocker. Sees the lane, get behind it. That's where the positive yard is. That's great vision by Herb Walker.
8th play of the drive coming here from Morgan State. Began at their own 35. Now they're at the Howard 35, and Council to throw on 3rd and 5 and incomplete. Looking for a flag. But there on the coverage was number 22, Tamlin Antoine, and Landon Malbrough was the intended receiver. It's 4th down.
A little surprised they decided to throw the football in that situation. I think everybody thinks it's 2-down territory where they have the ball in the field. You've got a running attack that's averaged 275 yards per game. I would have run the ball twice in a row to see if Howard could stop us from getting 5 yards on 2 carries.
And I assume running the football means putting in the belly of number 3 twice.
Running back averaging 150 yards a game, 8.5 yards per carry. I would have let him touch it.
Morgan State 0 for 2 on 4th down this year. They go for it on 4th and 5 from the Howard 35. They're showing blitz. Here come the Bison. And the pass is caught for a first down at the 25 and breaking free down the sideline. Thomas Martin reaching for the pylon. He is just a little bit short. Out at the 1. Alante Dunn eventually able to at least get enough of Martin to get him out of bounds. It's a 34-yard gain.
Martin trying to finish the run at the end. You'll see the knee go down about the 2-yard line. Ball was on the 1. Great job by the official, but we talked about the impact players in this game. Morgan's going to have to throw the ball at some point, and they're going to need Thomas Martin to make big plays. Comes into this game averaging 29.5 yards per catch. I think the Bison just saw why.
A high motor guy, Thomas Martin, they really like him. Sophomore out of Naples, Florida. 1st and goal. Morgan State put it in the belly of Walker, and he is in for the touchdown. Fifth rushing touchdown of the year for Herb Walker, and the Morgan State Bears, with a statement on the first drive of the football game, march right down the field for 6.
Any doubt where they were going with the football on that one?
No.
You got an offensive line that big, put Walker in the shotgun. That was almost like a quarterback sneak from a running back. Good job of lowering the shoulder pads, scored that touchdown easily. Impressive drive by the Bears.
Chris Moeller out of Newport News, Virginia, on for the extra point for Morgan State. It's true and through, and 7-0 Bears. And Herb Walker with the touchdown run capped off a 10-play drive that ate up just over 2.5 minutes. An early 7-0 lead for the Bears.
The Irwin curve jaw pliers have 3 times the gripping power of traditional locking pliers. And the power slot pliers go through wire with half the effort. Irwin Vice Grip Pliers.
The potato, it's not trending.
Herb Walker's 1-yard touchdown run has made it 7-0 Morgan State. They marched right down the field despite a couple of drops in the passing game on that drive that took 10 plays, went 65 yards as they began at their own 35 in just over 2.5 minutes, with Walker capping that off with a touchdown run. And in case you missed it, video of that touchdown now posted on the Sports Center app. It's available on your mobile devices and tablets whenever you need it. I think you mentioned it a couple of plays into the game, Jay. The Howard defense just seemed to be playing a bit on their heels, surprised by what Morgan State brought there.
Well, you know, they're undermanned on the defensive line, and they've got the pistol that they're seeing for the very first time. They're going to have to make some adjustments, but you have to be impressed with Morgan, the ability to march the ball down the field despite the 2 drop passes that made the job harder for them to do. So that chess match between offensive coordinator for Morgan State, Lee Hull, and Coach Ferrier, the offensive coordinator, and defensive coordinator Ray Petty for Howard, that chess match is going to have to play out better. Right now, advantage Morgan State.
Chris Moeller's kickoff, and William Parker from about a yard deep will bring it out. Tripped up at the 10. Nice play on special teams by Paul Eatman Jr., number 42. So not great starting field position for the Howard Bison in their first possession of the football game. And the rating conference player of the year, Greg McGee.
And you see the demeanor here. You see the charts on him, what he's been able to accomplish. But he's the type of kid that says, okay, Morgan, you went down, you scored 7. Now it's our turn. He wants to get on the field, put some points on the board. He has the uncanny knack to rise to the occasion, particularly in big spotlight games.
Quanius Freeman is the back. In motion goes Robert Mercer. And the lefty thrower may have been tipped. Looked like it was. So wound up at the feet of Matthew Colvin. And incomplete second down. Let's take a look at our impact players when the Bison have the football.
Quanius Freeman, we saw him in the last play go in motion there. You got to take the load off of Greg McGee. The knock on him is he runs too much sometimes. They need Freeman to run the ball. And Cody Aker for Morgan State, he's their inside linebacker, leading tackler on this football team.
Play action, and McGee rolling out. Now wants to use Brandt, the fullback, as a blocker, and steps out about the 12 for just a gain of 2. You can already hear with our low crowd mic down there, the jaw going on. That's Cody Aker, who you just mentioned, number 5 on the Morgan State defense.
Cody Aker knows he has a job, and that's to not let Greg McGee hurt him with his feet when he scrambles from the pocket.
Aker came into this game leading the Morgan State defense in tackles with 35. Now 3rd and 7 for the Bison on their first drive. Time for McGee. And he hit his receiver in the back, Miles Williams. I don't know if I've ever seen that, and if I have, I haven't seen it often.
Well, you saw as the receiver was coming across the formation, McGee going through his progressions. He's open, gets turned a little bit slightly, but you know that's one where it's a tough call because is he inside the 5-yard where you can make contact? Tough break there.
Yeah, I saw the replay, as you mentioned, Jay. He kind of got turned around, but unusual to see a receiver get hit in the back. John Fleck punting from zone goal line, and a nice punt Taken at the 36 by Thomas Martin. Stopped at the 41. We'll get your NFL Sunday started on ESPN at 10 a.m. It's Sunday NFL Countdown presented by Snickers. Host Chris Berman and the gang provide all the latest news and updates from stadiums around the league right up until kickoff. And before you set your lineups, catch our experts provide the latest news as well as more injury reports and predict the top fantasy performers on Fantasy Football Now, presented by Papa John's at 11 a.m. on ESPN2. And both you can watch live on Watch ESPN.
This is why you call it the pistol. Right there. When you see the running back lined up directly behind the quarterback, that's that pistol formation. You don't declare your strength.
Option pitch, Walker. Well read that time by the Howard defense by Cameron Alston and Damon Grisham Chisholm.
When people hear the term pistol, I think probably in the college football landscape, the most effective pistol people may be aware of, Colin Kaepernick when he was at Nevada with Chris Alt. And what it does, it puts the quarterback, by being in the shotgun, you're automatically in a threatening position. He's in the shotgun. You got a running back back there, two guys that can run the football, and you spread them out with wide receivers all over the field.
Council looking like he wanted to throw, and now he's going to run to the far side, and indeed does have room. 35-30 down the sideline. Out about the 15, and Josh Council using his legs to reverse that back to the far side of the field. Kenneth Russ, the cornerback, able to bump him out at about the 15. A 44-yard run.
And look at all the line going to the left, looking, nothing there. Great job of cutting against the grain of the defense. Gets a block on the outside to secure the edge. And we talked about the fact that he's your starting quarterback because he's the most mobile of the quarterbacks they have on campus. And you can see it paying dividends now for Coach Hull early in this contest.
Numbers on Council, and you have to include the rushes in there. On first down, Walker broke one tackle, a second, sidesteps another, inside the 5, lunges forward to the 3. What a run. Herb Walker Jr. just would not go down there.
He's a small guy, 5'8", 180 pounds. Use it to your advantage. Lower your shoulder pad level. Call it the old good old-fashioned jitterbug run. Watch him change direction. He's weaving in and out. Good, tough nose running by Walker.
Picked up 10, so it's 1st and goal. Walker already has a 1-yard touchdown run. We're not even 5 minutes into the game. Walker. That was Council who kept it. And he's inside the 1, brought down by the left defensive end, Marquise Blanchard. Council looked a little bit wobbly coming up there, but I don't know if he's just grabbing for the knee or just trying to get the knee pad down there back in its proper place.
I think they're going to need him. Look for Morgan. Stick with what you had success doing. Run the ball right at the middle of the defense behind your biggest offensive lineman, Swain, the center.
This is Walker fighting for the goal line, but is stopped. A number of Bison defenders, including Jacob Bennett and also number 56, Ibrahima Kibe.
When you're as big as they are, you should be able to push people off. I don't necessarily like the play selection of having a play that has to develop. You got the ball at the 2-yard line, a huge offensive line. Just push the pile forward. You have them moving sideways, advantage defense. I don't see why you just don't tell your offensive line, let's blow off the ball. We have a 30-pound advantage each person across. And you can lean forward and pick up 2 yards.
Well, 4 receivers, 3 to the short side of the field. Council keeping and is into the end zone. Touchdown. Well, God's power offer, the defensive end, stayed home there. And Council just sidestepped him to his right and went into the end zone for the touchdown.
Yeah, watch him pull the ball from the belly at the last moment. They think they've got it. Good job freezing him, making him miss, and then slide back into the middle. That's where the money is. The middle of the offensive line for Morgan State is where their strength is.
A 2-yard touchdown run for quarterback Josh Council, and Chris Moeller's extra point makes it 14-0. Well, it was a 10-play drive for a touchdown run on their first possession. This time just a 6-play drive And it's 14-0 Bears.
This is tailgating, and this is how we tailgate. This is your
ESPNU College Football Primetime is presented by McDonald's. I'm loving it.
Great look at Central Park on this beautiful Saturday, late summer afternoon, though it's officially fall, I think, early next week. It's got a little hint of fall in the air here in New York City. And right now, Robert Council and Morgan State off to the great start. Jay, we're almost halfway through this first quarter. Morgan State's run 16 plays, scored 2 touchdowns. Howard, 1 possession, a 3 and out.
Yeah, and that's great job by Morgan coming out with the game plan. We talked about the trouble we thought the Bison defense was having with the pistol. In the second series, they didn't solve it. Now, put pressure on the offensive unit from Howard University.
Parker and Tucson back deep. And from the goal line, it's brought out by William Parker. Breaks a tackle at the 11, but stopped at the 13. So again, not great starting field position for the Howard offense. Well, it's the second race of the Challenger round. Win and advance, because after 2 more races, 4 drivers will be eliminated. Jimmy Johnson is the defending champ, winning last year's title, become a 6-time champ. 16 nations battle, 12 advance in the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup. The Sylvania 300 at New Hampshire, Sunday at 1 on ESPN. Starting field position, just the first 2 drives for each team, Jay, heavily favoring Morgan State, as here's Howard again beginning at their own 14. McGee under center this time. Hands it off. Freeman. Make that Tucson who has the carry.
You know, that's a play there where we want to see Greg McGee carry the load, but they have to be able to run the football. I like the play selection by offensive coordinator Ted White, realizing you have to eat up a little clock. You know, assume you're going to get the first down, but your defense needs a blow. They need some time to come out the clock so they can get some oxygen over on the sideline. And more importantly, they really need to pick up 1 or 2 first downs.
Trips to the left, a quick look that way, but now flipped out to the back. Tucson bumped forward, lost the ball out of bounds. Marked out at the 24. It's close to a first down.
Good job. We got an aggressive defense, bringing pass rush after the quarterback. Keep them honest. Slip screen to the outside. Tucson does a good job of cutting against the grain. Almost picked up the first down.
Might have been down anyway when that ball popped free. It's 3rd and short. I thought they might measure it so close. Morgan State's going to take the opportunity to do some substituting. Now they're eyeballing it and saying, okay, that is a first down. So they'll update that and move the sticks. First down of the game for Howard. Matthew Colvin, the receiver, wide to the left. It's Robert Mercer stacked with him up top of your screen. Take the handoff to Parker, rolling. McGee going deep, and he has Colvin. Off to the races, but caught inside the 20 by Paul Eatman, the safety. And Colvin was wide open. If McGee leads him a little bit more and he keeps stride, Jay, he scores there, but it still goes for 54 yards.
Yeah, great job. Just a 3-level throw, one of the staples of the Howard offense for years. And you'll see the defensive back get lost. 2 guys covering 1 defender, covering 1 receiver. Wide open throw to Matt Colvin.
Even with the touchdown saving tackle, it's a first down for Howard at the 18 of Morgan State, trying to answer the 2 early touchdowns from the Bears. McGee to the back, Parker to about the 15. Gandia with the tackle, and Mitchell.
Let's go back to that long play once again. Just a 3-level throw. He's going to come inside, then break back out. Receiver here is going to go outside, come here, and then they also going to slip out the running back here. 3-level throw. Look at Greg McGee go through his progressions to see who's open. fullback, no. Second level, no. Oh, look, I've got the third level wide receiver, the big play. Great recognition by Greg McGee.
The third option was a good one. He hands it off. Parker to the 14. Going to bring up about a 3rd and 5.
Last week versus Morehouse, Greg McGee was responsible for 5 touchdowns overall. 2 throwing, 3 on the ground. When they get the ball close to the end zone, they like to call his number. I'd look for the quarterback draw here possibly.
Claudius Freeman back in as the back. Call it a 3rd and 6 for Howard, and in motion Tavion Brown. Got 3 receivers on that side looking in that direction to the inside the 5, caught by Colvin again, and he has a first down at the 3. Nice catch by Matthew Colvin in traffic, and it's going to be 1st and goal, Bison.
Fantastic catch, and most importantly, he catches the ball with his hands, snatches it out of the air. This was a rope thrown by McGee. To watch him go up and catch it with his hands and get it into his body, absorb the blow and hold on for the catch. That's a tough catch by Matthew Colvin.
3 defenders around him, and had to go up in the air a bit for that one. A flag does fly, but into the end zone goes McGee. Let's see if it's going to stand. McGee's running towards the bench, but then realizes we first need to hear from referee Donnell Leathers.
Offside. Defense. Number 88. That penalty decline. Touchdown.
Well, Lancey Gates, defensive end, was offside, so the touchdown counts, and Howard on the board.
One of the benefits of having a left-handed quarterback, you can fake the run to the right. He's got the ball in his left hand. Becomes a foot race. Once again, second time we've seen 2 orange jerseys following a white jersey. That's a blown coverage. Great recognition again by McGee, realizing that the quarterback was unaccounted for in the defense.
3-yard touchdown run for McGee, his 5th rushing touchdown of the season. John Fleck on for the extra point out of the hold of Richard Iagoro. And it's a 14-7 game.
McGee telling everybody, I can beat you with my arms. Don't forget about the footwork too, fellas. 14-7 Morgan.
Here, we educate tomorrow's leaders today. The Howard Experience.
Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. 42nd annual New York Urban League Football Classic. 14-7, Morgan State leading Howard. Still just over 5 minutes to go in this first quarter. McGee with the touchdown run. Get the Bison on the board as John Fleck will kick off for Howard. Ricky Fisk and Orlando Johnson back deep for the Bears. Johnson from the 4. Ran into his own man and then tumbles down just across the 20. So it'll be the worst starting field position for Morgan State. But they're averaging about 8 yards per play so far, Jay.
Yeah, they've been picking up in bunches. The big play from Thomas Martin on the outside, getting the passing game involved. But this is an offense that wants to run the football behind the offensive line. Quarterback Josh Council, huge pickup here to keep the drive alive. They've been able to move the football 16 plays, 124 yards, and we're still in the first quarter. And don't let Herb Walker heat up. He's showing us what a fantastic football player he is. The ability to finish off drives. Good job by the Morgan State Bears offensively thus far.
So just about 8 per play for Morgan State. Howard is up their average with that last drive, though they had a 3-and-out on their first possession. This is Orlando Johnson. A flag flies. Run of about 10 yards for Johnson. Stopped by cornerback Kenneth Russ, but in the vicinity of that flag, it looks like it's going to be coming back.
I wonder what number they called us on. If it was on 17, I thought it was a great seal block.
Holding. Offense. Number 17. 10-yard penalty. Remains first down.
All right, they called that on Ladarius Spearman, but you had him eyeballed, Jay. You didn't think you saw something in live action. Let's take another look.
No, they had him outflanked, so you're going to see right when this jet sweep is coming, he's coming along this side right there. The defender went in. He just pushed him down. You're allowed to wash him down. You didn't hold him. The defender tried to go underneath. He washed him down. Tough break for Morgan State.
So they play behind the chains now. 1st and 17. All back at their own 14-yard line. Parker back in there, and all the delay, they hand it off to Herb Walker. Walker up to the 14, a gain of just a couple. Eric Pittman and God's Power Afor tackling for the Bison defense there. It's Afor, number 13. He's out of Miami, Florida. He played a little bit of Wake Forest before transferring to the DC School of Howard.
One of the adjustments we're seeing right away. Howard defensively putting another defender into the box. They're keeping 8 guys close to the line of scrimmage, showing respect to the rushing game of Morgan State.
Council drop back at the 14-yard line. Ibrahima Kibe, senior out of DC, able to catch up to the speedy Council.
Take a look. You want to see the respect there. You got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here. There's a safety out here, 7, and even the other safety's pretty close. So they're eyeing the number of people that Morgan State has in the box, showing respect, saying, we're not going to let you continue to run behind that big offensive line. First adjustment of the game we've noticed thus far from the Howard defense.
Pass by Council off the hands of the intended receiver. Poteet at the 15, 4th down, and it's the first 3 and out for the Morgan State offense.
And I like that play selection on defense. What they're doing is saying, we're going to force you to throw the ball. Morgan State, you've proven to us you can run the football. But if we force you to throw the football, can you prove that you can throw the football? I like the adjustment. You saw right there, 2 passes, 2 incompletions. Morgan, for the first time, looked out of rhythm offensively.
So Howard's made the adjustment, at least on that drive, Jay, to try to at least slow down that Bears offense. They do so on that drive. Lawrence Forbes punting, and that was almost blocked. And a short punt is going to bounce out of bounds at the 39. Devin Rollins, number 40, almost got a hand on that punt. Well, the Howard Bison had a lot of great quarterbacks in their history, including my partner back in '92 and '93. Won an HBCU national championship. And Gary Flea Harrell was one of your favorite targets.
You know, our producer, Anthony Holman, was saying, what are you pointing to? And I said, hey, the sky's the limit. Well, Mark, you remember last year we went to Air Force, and I told you we got to take this picture pointing to the sky. Sky's the limit. But Gary Harrell, one of the all-time greats at Howard University. Not only was he a great receiver, but one of the best special teams players you'll ever see. He was a glue of that 1993 team, which will be inducted to the Howard Hall of Fame next week, by the way.
Swung out to Tavius Brown, a flag. Brown forward progress up to the 40. Wasn't quite the line of scrimmage, which is about where the flag is. What Jay's referring to, last year we had a game at the Air Force Academy, in which it's not hard to find a jet there. And you and I tried to reproduce that photo with me playing the role of Flea Harrell and you playing yourself.
Defense, number 88, 5-yard penalty, remains 1st down.
Well, Gates, the defensive end, called for that, shaking his head. That picture may be somewhere on the internet. I don't know, Jay. Everything's out there.
Well, you're much taller than Flea, so it didn't work out.
That penalty helps out the Howard offense, as they'll have a 1st and 5 now at the 34 of the Bears. Freeman the back.
I'd watch the play action here, 1st and 5. I'd be surprised to see the Bison take a shot up top.
He hands it to Freeman. Another flag. Freeman to the 32. 20 is Freeman, the redshirt junior out of New Orleans.
Offside, defense, number 40, 5-yard penalties, 1st down.
Fanye Agandia, the safety, called that time.
One thing you'll notice about the penalties being called here, when they're called, you don't see the referees come and huddle. All the officials in the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference have wireless headsets. So whoever makes the calls just radios the call in to the umpire. He gives us the call. I really like that. Invested in the technology doesn't slow down the pace of play.
good to hear technology doing a great thing to save us all a few seconds here and there throughout a football game. Under 2 minutes to go in this first quarter. Throw towards the sideline, a little low, incomplete. At the 10, going for Matthew Colvin.
Wow, they got the look they wanted. We saw Russell Wilson do this with the Seattle Seahawks. Cornerback takes a peek in the backfield. You think it's run? Don't lose the receiver. Better throw. That could have been a touchdown. At the very least, a first down completion.
Russell Wilson may have run that very same play in the very same spot in the Super Bowl earlier this year. Play action. McGee high and off the hands of the tight end Justin Chaney. Chaney's 6'5", 230-pound freshman.
McGee, good look at the release there, but when you've got a strong arm, and one of the things I had to learn, when you have a strong arm and you put a lot of zip on all your passes, you must be accurate. Tougher for the receivers to help you out with a ball thrown hard that's behind them. Or if you take something off of it, they have soft enough hands they can still make their catch.
A 50% completion rate so far today for McGee at 4 of 8. Those 77 yards.
And that's something that, you know, in today's college football landscape, most of the quarterbacks are throwing 65%. But because Howard throws vertical passes, he doesn't throw a lot of passes behind the line of scrimmage.
McGee now, the receiver, Colvin, may have been some incidental contact or just slipped and fell at the 15, so it's an incomplete pass.
Colvin's been the go-to receiver there. Didn't keep his feet underneath him, and so often when they look at the film, they're going to say you cannot cut off your inside foot. Tried to plant off the left foot. It gave, and he fell down.
Inadvertently bumped Delonte Hall, the cornerback, who probably did not have a legitimate chance to pick that ball off. But on 4th and 10, they go for it across the middle. Incomplete at the 5 for Robert Mercer. And Morgan State will take over on downs. Paul Eatman, number 42, had the primary coverage.
Trying to take the seam look. McGee got the look that he wanted to. You'll see him freeze the safety in the middle of the field, but by the time he comes back, the cornerback able to readjust on the football. Small window, tried to squeeze that throw into.
That's 4 straight incomplete passes for McGee. Remember, after the 2 penalties, they had a first down inside the 30. But the drive stalls and they turn it over, going for it on 4th down.
Look at all those bodies by the line of scrimmage for Howard University. 8 people close to the line of scrimmage. They're saying you're going to have to throw the football.
Council gets back to the line of scrimmage, wrapped up by defensive tackle Matthew Parker.
And if they're not going to let the running back run, they're not going to let the quarterback run either. You've got 8 bodies close to the line of scrimmage. The running lanes become smaller. Right now, Council's going to have to complete a pass in order to get this offense back on track.
Just 2 of 7 through the air for 47 yards. You see he has 51 yards on the ground and a touchdown. Morgan State scored TDs on their first 2 possessions. Had the 14-0 lead. It's been cut to 14-7. That run for Walker straight up the middle. Forward progress up to the 33. It's going to be 3rd and about 6.
Morgan went to bringing an extra blocker in the backfield, going with the formation that you can run out of the pistol. 3 people in the backfield, but Howard still not budging, refusing to allow Morgan State to have an advantage schematically with numbers running the football.
And the left guard moved and immediately gets a tongue lashing.
False start. Offense, number 54. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
Dominique Woods, a redshirt freshman out of Skyline, Texas. You could see him move and then watch the left tackle, Darren Pinnock. Hey, man, you got to be smarter than that.
A lot of times the linemen get upset because as a quarterback you say on 2, you reiterate on 2. If you're going with the hard count, everybody knew it was on 2, and then he jumped.
Pinnock, a senior out of Miami. He's a converted D lineman. Now playing left tackle, and that's going to take us to the end of the first quarter. A couple of quick Morgan State TDs, but Howard with an 86-yard drive and a McGee touchdown run and made this a one-score game. 14-7 Morgan State at the end of one quarter from New Jersey.
Reds Cardinals Sunday.
Football Primetime presented by McDonald's. The 42nd annual New York Urban League Football Classic. Conference opener in the MEAC, Howard and Morgan State. First play of the second quarter on 3rd and 11, and a completed pass to Thomas Martin at the 40. And he has enough by about a yard for the first down. Tackled by Trayvon Hunt.
Nice throw by Josh Council there. Recognized where to go with the football. Good coverage. Hit Council coming Martin right out of the break, allowing Martin the ability to make one move upfield and pick up the additional yard they needed for first down.
So an important conversion for Morgan State here early in the second quarter. Remember, they scored on their first 2 possessions of the game, primarily with their success on the ground. Now the Howard defense trying to force them to put it in the air a little more often. Orlando Johnson has that pulled out of his belly, and Council keeps, and he runs ahead to the 48 for a gain of about 8.
Good skill set here. Ball handling skills showed by Council. Ride him, then pull it out. Get up in the middle, pick up whatever positive yard you can. And we know if you can get to the second level and get behind Clarence Swain and Randon Key, 360 pounds, 335-pound guards, then there's positive yardage that can be made.
Second and short, showing blitz. Here comes the Howard linebackers. And Council pressured, and he is going to be sacked. Back at the 44-yard line. God's Power Afor, number 13, and others there to corral the quarterback, Josh Council.
They've got everybody covered here. They're sending an extra person in protection. Man-to-man coverage across the board. But look at the pocket. They've got him surrounded. There's nowhere to go. When that happens, throw the ball away. I think after having success on the first long run, he thought, oh, I can run it whenever I want to. Well, they've collapsed the pocket. Get rid of it. Instead of having 3rd and 5, you could have had 3rd and 2.
Morgan State 3 of 5 on 3rd down, facing a 3rd and 5.
Look at this man-to-man coverage across the board for Howard.
Council kept it. No gain. Marquise Blanchard wrapping him up.
Morgan's in trouble.
4th down and time to punt for the Bears.
I want you to take a look at the man-to-man coverage across the board. Man-to-man, 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 man-to-man. You got to throw the football. You've got to take advantage of the one-on-one coverage, or else there's just nowhere for you to run the football.
Forbes punts, high short punt. Fair catch called for and taken at the 20 by Brown. So that's where Howard will begin when we return.
The Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, 13 institutions, all bringing the dreams of our student athletes to light. A premier NCAA Division I conference. We deliver excellence across the spectrum, uniting the diverse pursuits and talents of all our student athletes with the power of respect. For together, we are the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, achieving the dream.
The ham sandwich. It's nothing special. Anywhere is a long way to go for a ham sandwich.
Mom!
But with Kraft Real Mayo's perfect blend of eggs, vinegar, and oil, the ham sandwich will finally be worth the journey. Kraft, food deserves delicious.
Check out all these airline seats. Lots of them, right? But when you try to get one by using your travel rewards card miles, those seats mysteriously vanish. Why? All the flights you want are blacked out, or they hit you up for some outrageous number of miles. Switch to the Venture card from Capital One. With Venture, use your miles on any airline, any flight, anytime. No blackout dates. And with every purchase, you'll earn unlimited double miles. Now we're getting somewhere. What's in your wallet?
When we say the all-new Chrysler 200 is all new, we mean it. We used the latest tools and built a new state-of-the-art manufacturing plant. We gave it new smart technology. We challenged conventional thinking with a more intuitive design. And we set new expectations of what an American sedan can be. The all-new Chrysler 200, America's import.
This fall, the Simpsons take on their greatest nemesis ever, the game that keeps beating them in the App Store. Finally, something to do in the game besides just tap. Download Tapped Out.
14-7 Morgan State on top of Howard, still early in this second quarter. And coverage of men's college soccer continues on ESPNU Sunday at noon. Number 5 Notre Dame takes the field against number 7 Virginia. That game is also available live on Watch ESPN. Here comes Greg McGee and the Howard offense, beginning at their own 20-yard line after the 35-yard punt. And Morgan State's Lawrence Forbes. You see the rushing yards favoring Morgan State, but those numbers, those rushing yards, a little fewer and far between for that Morgan State offense, Jim.
They made the adjustment, forcing the Bears to go to the air, and Morgan State has not been able to do that.
McGee to throw on first down. Caught at the 32, and then upended there is Justin Chaney, the tight end, but he has a first down for Howard.
Three-level throw once again, and Morgan, now they're just getting creative. Ted White, you're going to have to clear out here. Watch the tight end come from around here for the second-level throw, and then slip somebody out there. Same three-level throw they're doing, but McGee going through the progression, taking the time. Morgan hasn't made the adjustment to the three-level throws from the Bison yet.
That gained 15. The carry here for Aquanius Freeman for no gain. And Cody Aker, the inside linebacker, number 5 with the tackle. Aker last year had a team-high 97 tackles. To give you an idea how easily that won the team title, Joe Rankin was second on the team last year with 57 tackles. He had 97. Aker did.
He's all over the field.
Yeah. McGee looked right, and then as he was throwing left, a late flag, but it stopped the play.
That's on Howard.
False start. Offense. Number 80. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
Wide receiver Robert Mercer called for the false start.
That's on Howard. That did them a favor because Morgan State had that play sniffed out. Corey Robinson was coming unblocked to the quarterback. Take a look. They put their ball player in the best position. He was going inside on a stunt. Greg McGee was going to get hit hard. Robinson's the outside linebacker that gives them the ability to play the 3-4 defense. He can put his hand on the ground and act like the defensive end, can also drop back in coverage.
Second Howard penalty today puts him at 2nd and 15. The delay, Freeman to the 40, lowers the shoulder there at the 41. Nice run, stopped by Deshaun Summers. Will leave him about 4 yards from another first down.
Yeah. Using the speed against Robinson, a little sprint draw. This is the staple. Fake the draw, then come across. The defensive ends are getting upfield, allowing Freeman to run the daylight. We saw Howard run that play against Rutgers 3 or 4 times, and Rutgers had a hard time adjusting it. Kind of a different play to look at. You have to stay in your lane and not overrun your gap control.
3rd and 4, the rollout, and boy, the spot's going to be key. And it looks like he has the first down across the 45 at the 46. I thought McGee was going to have it easily, Jay, and then he kind of got caught up in his stride there and went down quickly, a gain of 5.
Trying to cut from that side. You see that right leg just give out on him underneath. As you mentioned, very fortunate with the spot. Actually, they spotted him where he stopped his slide compared to where his knee first touched the ground.
It gives him a first down at their own 46-yard line. Flea flicker. Going deep for Colvin. At the 10, the flags fly. Delonte Hall had the coverage. In fact, double coverage of Colvin, but the contact at the 10 brought out the flags.
Been impressed with Matthew Colvin's ability.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 13. 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Been impressed with the way Matthew Colvin's been able to get behind the secondary of Morgan on multiple occasions. Good job, and watch the quick release by McGee. Colvin's behind him. If he leads him a little bit more, possibly a touchdown. But with that quick throw, it's a quick catch and throw. Colvin trying to come back to the ball, not able to. That's an easy call.
Yeah, Hall slammed right into Colvin. As you said, Jay, Colvin slowing down to try to make the adjustment on the throw. Exactly 10 minutes to go till halftime. 14-7 Morgan State, but Howard trying to drive for perhaps the tying score here. They have a first down at the 39 of the Bears. Freeman had a pretty good head of steam before he's halted at the 35 for a pickup of 4 yards. Is Freeman went to Edna Carr High School in New Orleans. Looked like he was hobbling just a little bit there. 3 receivers to the top of your screen. Stuart Hartman, one split wide right. Pass to Freeman out of the backfield. Be only about a yard from the first down at the 30. Third and short coming.
Just get rid of the ball quickly. Quick little slip screen there. Release it quickly, misdirection, look to one direction, come back the other way. Extended handoffs is all they really are, but Freeman doing a good job running north-south.
Go to 2 tight ends on 3rd and 1. Send Hartman in motion and hand it off in the first down easily. Straight ahead to the 26-yard line. William Parker. So the drive continues for Howard. They have a first down at the 27. Good look there wide at MetLife Stadium. Of course, home of the Giants and Jets. This facility is very busy this weekend. Both those teams will play here this weekend, including Monday Night Football on ESPN. 5 games in the next 9 days played here at MetLife Stadium. Play action. Juggled but held on to by Hartman at the 18.
They see something that they like, attacking the second level throw. Morgan has not made the adjustment, and they keep going back to it, just bringing the tight end across the formation, and this time he's going to sit in the hole, realizing it's zone coverage. Great catch by Stuart Hartman, the senior from Renton, Louisiana.
Gain of 10, first down, now at the 17. In motion, Tavius Brown. This is Freeman. Inside the 10 to the 9. A rush of 8 yards for Quanius Freeman.
That's unique to what Howard does offensively. Normally, teams that have a package that you have to look out for, you say watch their screen package, it's special, or watch the bubble screen package. For Howard, you have to watch their draw package. They've got a sprint draw, they've got a quarterback draw, a delay draw. They do a really good job with the timing on their draw package.
Parker battles his way to close to the 5, held up there by Greg Gibson, linebacker. Oregon State with the tackle. So it's first and goal, Howard. Just over 7 minutes to go.
If McGee goes under center, I would be thinking play action bootleg. And also, even if he goes to shotgun, I'd key in on that draw package, either a quarterback draw or the draw to Freeman, the running back in the backfield.
He's going to stay in the gun, it appears. Towards the end zone, incomplete. A tumbling attempt made there by Miles Williams. Bill Hall, the linebacker, covering him.
And this is the difference. McGee saw man-to-man coverage across the board. So rather than force a run where they have you outnumbered, he said, well, let me pick a one-on-one matchup that I like and decide to attack the ball offensively, moving it down the field. So you like the recognition by your quarterback, but the throw should have been a little bit better.
2nd and goal, 12th play of this drive here for Howard. Freeman inside the 5. Stopped at about the 1. Delonte Hall as well as Greg Gibson were able to keep him out of the end zone.
Good job by Freeman. See him get the ball. Look at the recognition. Set Robinson up outside. One cut. Get upfield. Slide back to the inside. They've had the pulling guard there, but great cut by Freeman. An open space on Chris Robinson.
With a power formation, handed off. Parker trying to dive over the top and did not get in.
I don't think he got in either. That may be a case where he jumped too high. I mean, he had tremendous lift, and that enables the linebackers to get underneath him. Watch him elevate. He's up high. They hit him.
Whoa, now he's still not down. That should be a touchdown, unless there was a whistle.
Unless there was a whistle blown. He landed a yard short. You saw that, but when they landed, they thought the knees had touched the ground. They did not.
The ball was short of the goal line. The previous play is under review.
Well, I guess there was not a whistle to stop the play. Otherwise, they wouldn't review this here. And I think there's enough video evidence to overturn this to make this a touchdown, Jay.
I think the only thing is, did anybody whistle the play dead? Right now he's in the air. They're saying he's short of the goal line. Now, when he lands right now, was there a whistle?
Now, watch his right knee, though. That right knee might have been down.
Closer. Yeah.
I didn't notice that on the first look. Watch it from the backside. Is that right knee going to?
That knee, can't see it because there's a leg, but as you look, you see that knee is down on the ground.
So a good call, as it turns out, and our replay official, when he sees that, should confirm the call.
Barely. I mean,
hey, great work by our crew here to get that.
Great job, because it really depends on what angle you look at. And if you take a look from the game view, it looked like he stayed on his feet.
Hop back up after apparently the right knee had come down. You know what that play always reminds me of?
What is that?
Iron Bowl, Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson?
Yeah. That attempt to go over the top.
Yeah. Every time I see that, I think of over the top. I think of Walter Payton or
yeah, Sweetness would do that. Sure.
Herschel Walker. I mean, those tremendous athletes that really got off the ground. Now, they may end up moving this ball back a little bit.
The ruling on the field is confirmed. It will be 4th down.
He didn't say anything about the spot, or we haven't gotten any indication they're going to move it, because that ball's literally inches away from the goal line. So his knees down's there. Now, this is at the exact same moment. Where should the ball be spotted?
Where's that ball? Yeah, so that ball should be on the 1 yard line, maybe 1.5 yard line now. Howard wanted to challenge to see if the ball was in the end zone. If you're Morgan, you want to maybe take a look at that and say that spot is favorable.
Howard 0 for 1 on 4th down today, 1 for 5 on 4th down this year. Keeping McGee, and he's in. Touchdown. Well, a drive that started at Howard's 20, and they're an extra point away from overcoming that early 14-point hole. Second touchdown run today for McGee.
They're trying to get low and just slide down the line. You normally don't want to turn your back in that situation, but good push by the left guard Reyes and left tackle John Smith to escort McGee into the end zone.
14-play drive eating up almost 7.5 minutes, and McGee, who had a 1-yard touchdown run earlier, that one I should say had a 3-yard touchdown run earlier, that one a 1-yard TD. And John Fleck on for the extra point. Out of the hold to Richard Iagoro to try and tie this, and does so. It's 14 all with 4:56 left in the first half. Got a good one going on here in the New York Urban League Football Classic. Howard's overcome the early 14-0 hole with McGee's second touchdown run today.
Check. Time.
2 touchdown runs have tied this at 14, and things a little lighter now over on the Howard sideline. 14-play drive, McGee's 1-yard touchdown run, and it is 14 all. John Fleck, the junior out of Indianapolis, to kick off for the Bison. Fisk and Johnson back deep for the Bears. Fisk elects to take a knee. They'll begin at their own 25. We'll step aside with 4:56 to play in the first half.
People like to feel safe, and we like our money to be safe too. But when it comes to shopping on...
That's a couple football teams.
Run play and a run of about 10 for Herb Walker. I'm intrigued by this drive, Jay, for the fact that Howard's been able to shut down the Morgan State running game the last couple of drives, but there's a statement by Walker.
Yeah, they put 14 unanswered points on the board, and you saw during that break in between, Dwayne Foster, the offensive line coach, challenges offensive line, said, we know they're going to outman us there, but we still have to be able to run the football.
Give it back to Herb Walker.
Think they heard him?
Nice blocking right up the middle for a gain of 8. Morgan State, their first couple of drives, they scored TDs on each of the first 2. 89 yards on those drives, and since then 80 yards. I should say 124 and 18. I was looking at the Howard side, but nonetheless, you see Morgan State, not much since those first 2 drives, but Walker's trying to change that here. Right back to him for a 3rd carry. Just a couple, but should be enough for the first down at the 45.
And I like the play selection by Fred Ferrier, the offensive coordinator. Normally when they run the pistol, they rely on misdirection, but when teams are overcrowding the box and blitzing linebackers up gaps, if you have misdirection, you get hit in the backfield, tackle for loss. You don't want that. He said, let's go to the pistol formation and let's just pound the ball straight ahead. And that's what he's doing. He said, we're not going to do misdirection when we have a crowded box. We're going to play physical football straight ahead, no side to side.
Walker off left tackle, spun down by Eric Pittman, number 52, the weak side linebacker.
And I think what Walker has to realize, the bounce is not going to be there. You know, the last play there, they snuck an offensive lineman as a pulling blocker. Walker's so used to bouncing the daylight, what you see outside. Howard's playing small ball, many white jerseys around the ball carrier. The money's going to be made in between the 2 guards.
Pass to midfield, caught and bouncing off one tackler, Spearman, or actually Poteet and Spearman there.
You see that 3-step drop, just get the lineman's hands down. Spearman, good catch the second time around. Anytime they can just complete passes, that'll really help this offense so much with the pistol formation, and the threat of the passing game will really open up the running lanes.
3rd and a long 3.
And the man, they're blitzing.
Here comes the Howard blitz. Council may be able to run for the first down, and does so. He was in a race with the safety Cameron Alston, number 10 for Howard. But Council plenty for the first down by at least a couple of yards.
But they're going to bring the blitz up here. You see these 2 linebackers? They're coming in here trying to flush him out of the pocket, trying to meet at the quarterback. It was a good job by Council of escaping. They had a spy linebacker in there, but he was able to outrun Cameron Alston to the corner. Just enough yards to pick up the first down.
So 125 rushing yards now for Morgan State, as we have just over 2 minutes to go in this first half. Walker going back between the tackles to the Howard 38-yard line. Cleveland, Ohio native Herb Walker, listed at 5'8", which means in reality, Jay, he's what?
5'7",
okay.
5'7", 5'6.5".
Yeah.
Well, in cleats, he's 5'8".
Yeah.
Cleat, shoulder pad, and the helmet put him at 5'8", but I think he's been a hidden gem for them. You know, Lamont Brown got the bulk majority of the carries in the first game, and Walker has stepped in, and all he's done is average 8.5 yards per carry on the season.
Delay, but that time well read by the Howard defense. They have lost a yard. That's Marquise Blanchard, number 51.
And I think that's the disadvantage of running the misdirection with a very active defensive front that the Howard Bison have. They want to talk about it, and so do we. We'll be back. Score tied, 14 apiece.
In the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, each game is a lesson. Win or lose, it's a chance to learn something about our team.
Only a minute 18 left in this first half from MetLife Stadium. Coming up at the intermission on the college football halftime report, Brendan Fitzgerald, Jason Sehorn, and Charles Arbuckle in the studio. Look at the impact of the Jameis Winston suspension. Also Florida and Alabama. And all the news from around the top 25 coming up at the half. We have 1:18 left. Tied at 14. This New York Urban League Football Classic from East Rutherford, New Jersey. 3rd down and 6 upcoming for Morgan State. Council across the middle. Spearman, a catch, a spin move. A hit that jarred his helmet loose, but he has a first down at the 24. Cam Alston put on the lick. Spearman's going to have to come out for a play, but his first down catch goes for 15 yards.
You know, and this is a good reason for the helmet rule. I'm not the biggest fan of the helmet rule all the time, but when somebody takes a hit like this, coming across the formation, helmet comes off, yeah, just make sure everything is okay, that you have your bearings and you know where you are. But also with one hit and a follow-through hit by Bennett, that's finishing off the play.
And Spearman hanging on. They have a first down. 2 timeouts remaining for Morgan State. And a first down at the 24 of Howard.
Been a very competitive football game here.
Well, they are going to take the timeout, so Spearman can stay in the game. Remember, they changed the rule after the first year. If you call a timeout, you can get the player back in the game. So with that rule, Spearman does not have to come out, and it looks like he is going to stay in the game. Well, Morgan State touchdowns their first 2 possessions. Punts on the next 2, and here they are on drive number 5, marching with a first down.
Right now, we want to end the half with points on the board. If you put any points on the board, they'll have the lead at halftime. Pick up a couple more yards to assure the first down and the field goal. Then you can start going for the end zone.
Spearman still in there in the slot on the near side. Going in his direction. Broken up at the last moment. Spearman was there, but also DeAndre Price, the cornerback, number 32.
Too many receivers in the same vicinity. You see Spearman's there along with Thomas Martin. Quarterback just throwing the ball up for grabs. Very dangerous pass. 2 defensive backs that could have made that play.
Boy, Walker with a block that keeps his quarterback upright, but he just turns and heaves it.
That's got to be grounded.
I would think so.
They have to give him the sack. I think you should give him the sack. I mean, he did a good job of throwing the ball, but it was too late. Late recognition. Cannot believe this is not.
Well, watch the block by number 3, Walker.
And that's a mismatch coming there, but he does a great job of upending him. But you have to get rid of the football. They're very fortunate.
Yeah, there wasn't anybody in the vicinity.
Yeah, I mean, he got the ball past the line of scrimmage, but he was in the grass going down.
And you can understand why Gary Harrell is upset at that no call. 3rd and 10. Delay to Walker. And decision time. Looks like Morgan State's going to use their final timeout.
When they called the first timeout to keep Spearman in the game, I wasn't a big fan of that because they run the ball better than they throw the ball. and give your offense an opportunity to run the ball, the threat of the run, by knowing that you have timeouts available. They threw the ball twice, and then the third down, then they want to get the ball to their best offensive weapon in Walker. Questionable play call in there right before the half. I thought they could have run the ball a couple times effectively. And Coach Harrell, he still wants an explanation on why that wasn't a sack, and I think he's got every right to be upset. I mean, clearly, Counsell was trying to throw the ball away when he was heading to the ground.
Well, take another look at it. There's a 44-yard field goal attempt going to come up here after this.
I mean, the rule is you can get rid of the ball to protect yourself, but when you're going down, you're in the grass.
And that's got to be a flag.
Yeah.
Moeller's long is 44 yards. He's had 4. That was last year. His long this year 45, but he's had a couple blocked. And this is a 45-yard attempt off the left hash, and Gary Harrell's going to use a timeout, and probably upset that he did because that one went wide left.
Timeout of the half. It will be a 30-second timeout.
So that's the old, you roll the dice here. If you're going to use a timeout to try to ice the kicker, you give him a chance to get a free shot, but then when he misses it, Jay, you kind of think, well, maybe I shouldn't have burned that time out there.
You start to second guess yourself then. I'm sure they'll think about it, but if he misses it again, hey, he made the right call there. But interesting way to end the half for Morgan State. I thought they had a drive that could have gotten them into the end zone. They decided to try and throw the football instead of running the football down there. We'll see if they get points before the half.
Yeah, less than a minute left in this first half. And Morgan State, the 2 quick touchdowns, primarily effective on the ground. But Howard's defense has really adjusted since then and changed the football game.
Great adjustments to the pistol. But then Morgan, at the end of the first half, figured out, well, we can just start running straight ahead and not use misdirection. Use the advantage they have with the size on the offensive line. And that's how they're able to get the ball in field goal position.
Howard does have a couple more timeouts, but this 45-yard attempt for Moeller. And that goes wide left. Well, wide left and probably even short. So a moot point that Flea used a timeout on the previous call. And it stays a 14 all game with 43 seconds left.
That was a good look at head coach Lee Hull replacing Don Hill-Ely, who had been one of the staples in the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. Hull came over from the University of Maryland. And young mind, energetic. When people talk to him about the job, he said, hey, we're going to do this thing right. And he's got the players playing for him. Really believes that they can do it. Put together a great staff. I will say that. We've been around all over the country, and I think getting John Morgan as your defensive coordinator, and he brings in Ferrier and Foster on the offensive side of the ball, surrounding himself with people that understand HBCU football, young, energetic program, and I think the Bears very proud of their head coach selection that they had. A lot of great candidates who were applying for the job, and Hull was ultimately selected. And this is an offense that's been putting up 27 points per game, second in the conference. If they can continue to put up points at that rate, look for them to surprise some folks in the MEAC.
So this is the conference opener, and Howard content to take a couple of knees and take us to the end of the first half. Morgan State with the first 2 scores. Walker touchdown run. Counsell touchdown run made it 14-0, but Howard, a couple of TD runs from McGee have tied it at 14 here at the intermission. So now let's go to the studio for the college football halftime report with Brendan Fitzgerald, Jason Sehorn, and Charles Arbuckle. Gentlemen.
The potato. It's not trending.
Welcome back to East Rutherford, New Jersey at MetLife Stadium, the 2014 New York Urban League Classic. Howard and Morgan State tied at 14. About ready to start the second half. Glad to have you with us this weekend, along with Jay Walker. I'm Mark Neely. Jay, Morgan State, their offense really came out of the chute well, primarily because the running game was so good early.
The running game had it going early. That pistol formation gave the Bison defense a hard time, but quarterback Josh Counsell did a really good job of orchestrating the running game and the throwing game. he really played above his head in the first half. He has to continue that. There were some plays that just quite simply were not there. He found a way to create with his legs. The mobile quarterback gave the Bison defenders a hard time, and he completed some timely passes when he had to. This is not a vaunted passing game that people fear, but he had the ability to create, improvise. He was a big spark plug, and the reason why the Bison are tied 14-14 because Howard got busy with Greg McGee.
And McGee was very good with that pass play. They were down 14-0, and he got him right back in the game.
Yeah, then McGee found his rhythm and hit the big play, the explosiveness, the athleticism to the outside. Scored 2 touchdowns in the first half, realizing what the defense was giving him. He called his own number, and that's why Howard was able to get back into this football game.
So 2 touchdown runs for McGee in that first half. A look at the numbers from half number 1. The rushing yards still favoring Morgan State, but they had what, most of those rushing yards came on their first 2 possessions.
They did, and Howard took momentum in this football game. Morgan State has to find a way to put more points on the board. Their first 2 drives were sensational, 14 unanswered points, but then the Bison answered in a big way to tie up this football game.
So Morgan State and Howard tied at 14, ready to start the second half from MetLife Stadium. And there is Greg McGee, last year's MEAC Player of the Year. And I'm sure he'll be a candidate to repeat, Jay, but he's already got some competition from a few other locations, including Tariq Cohen.
Yeah, what do we say? Not so fast. I think Tariq Cohen is a candidate not only for Offensive Player of the Year in the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, but also possibly Peyton Award finalist. Tariq Cohen, a running back from A&T, sensational numbers on the year, and Coach Rob Broadway has a pretty good program down there.
Brown will take a knee, so Howard to begin at their own 25. First half numbers. Greg McGee, 7 of 14 through the air, just over 100 yards, but had the 2 rushing TDs.
Yeah, would like to see him get that completion percentage up, but at the end of the day, I mean, he still has the ability to have big numbers. He's only missed 7 passes on the evening. But look for him to dial it in a little bit more in the second half.
Well, here come the Bison. They're in the white. Morgan State in the blue and orange. Here it's Tucson in the back.
Howard showing their own variation of the pistol offense.
Give it to Tucson, but that is well read. Quickly gobbled up by Noel Liverpool, as well as Andrew Mitchell.
Howard got off to a slow start to start the contest. They cannot afford to get off to a slow start here in the second half.
Quantius Freeman takes over in the backfield for the Bison. They'll switch the tight end Williams to the right side of the formation. Keeping it. McGee to the edge for a couple of yards to the 28-yard line for about 3. Run out by Peterson Javier as well as Joel Scott. Upcoming a 3rd and 7 on this, the first drive of the half for the Howard Bison. In motion, Brown. A hard count, and then the look to the sideline. Play clock down to 3. Off just in time, and McGee across the middle, intercepted.
What a play.
Cody Aker.
Fantastic job by Cody Aker, dropping back into from the linebacker position. He's going to follow McGee's eyes. He knows he's supposed to look up. You're going to see him on the right side there, looking up the receiver. Once the receiver gets by him, reads the quarterback's eyes and makes an athletic interception. Huge turnover for the Bears.
Second interception of the year thrown by McGee. That's the first turnover today for either side. Morgan State takes over in Howard territory and counsel the quarterback inside the 40. Defensive end Damon Gresham Chisholm stopping him there.
And Morgan still wants to bounce the run game outside, but I think the strength of the Howard defense is with their linebackers. If that's the case, I think you still have to continue to run almost a wedge type run scheme behind your center and 2 guards.
Council puts it in the air, but off target, intended for Ladarius Spearman, a little behind him.
Sometimes watching Morgan drop back and attempt to pass, painful to look at. You know, kind of sometimes looks like, remember those old Nebraska, Oklahoma teams when they would get down by 14 and try to throw the football and just there was no rhythm into it. I think with Morgan, they're going to get there at some point, but they just don't have it right now. And I don't know if it's because of the personnel mesh between the new coaching style, the play selection, or not, but throwing the football looks painful for Morgan.
Somebody out there, somebody very young is thinking, wishbone, what is that? 3 backs and a cloud of dust. And the catch by Ricky Fisk. And a first down to the 29 of the Bison. On the coverage, Austin and Brown, but first down pickup with a sophomore out of Port Arthur, Texas, Ricky Fisk. Guy who was a quarterback on this team. They moved him from quarterback to wide receiver this year.
I like the matchup on the bottom of your screen. It's Thomas Martin one-on-one.
Orlando Johnson inside the 15. They'll mark him out at the 15. Run down by Trayvon Hunt. 15-yard run.
Yeah, one of the few times that we've been able to see them get some access here. Watch the pull and guard here. He's going to come around and serve as the lead blocker. You'll see that great job of getting to the outside.
First down Bears at the Howard 15. First possession of the game for Morgan State, trying to take advantage and convert after a turnover for the Bison, and the rush by Walker. Looks like he's going to have a first down and set up a 1st and goal at about the 4.
Did you see the recognition by Walker? See, they're listening to Jay Walker a little bit. They're running behind the center and the guards, but watch him make shifty moves in small spaces. Cut right here. Get in the middle. One more cut. North-south. He's perfect for that offense running downhill behind the center and the 2 guards.
Walker was named the MEAC Player of the Week back on September 8th early in the year. 1st and goal. Morgan State trying to stick it in the end zone since their second possession, and they do so with guess who? Herb Walker. His 2nd touchdown. And it's 20-14 Morgan State.
He's getting a body on a body, and what do we say? That's a huge offensive line. Get them going in the right direction, and sometimes you just need the big fellas to occupy space. Herb Walker's a really good interior runner.
Point after for Chris Moeller. 21-14. We'll hear in this second half, Jay. First statement is made by Morgan State and Walker. His 2nd touchdown today. And it's the Bears by a touchdown.
We could talk about its refined, class-leading, luxurious interior, or its more than 70 available safety and security features, and optional best-in-class 30 highway MPG. But we let up
greatness.
Herb Walker's 2nd touchdown today has made it 21-14 Morgan State, as the Bears do take advantage of the McGee turnover, the interception for Aker. And Morgan State, first drive of each half, has been successful today. In fact, their first 2 drives of the first half resulted in touchdowns. As here, Moeller kicks it out of bounds. And they'll begin at their own 35. Walker almost walked in here.
Let's take a look at this touchdown. When Howard decides to overload the number count, what does Morgan do? They decide to leave the end man on the line of scrimmage open by himself. So they decide, well, we'll get blockers this way, this way, this way, this way, this way. And we hope that number 10 gets caught in the wash somewhere. You'll see number 10 come up. Walker's responsibility to make him miss. He gets there too late. Touchdown, Morgan State. Great job schematically.
And No question, Cameron Alston, number 10. I guess he got caught in there with the socks and the pants and something else, because he was definitely caught in the wash.
Yeah, and Alston's a good one. He's an all-conference defender, but he's a lot to look at in a short period of time. And good job of just ignoring the in-man on the line of scrimmage, zone blocking scheme to the left for the touchdown.
Well, Howard's never led today. They find themselves back down by 7. Freeman could not quite spin away from the tackle of Greg Gibson, but he's up to the 39 for a first down pickup of 4 yards.
That's that running game they're going to need to go along with Greg McGee's left arm. And you got the feeling it's a pretty good run blocking unit for Howard University. Continue to run the ball a couple times, and maybe your running backs can spring a long one for you.
Broken up at the 44-yard line, going after Colvin. Greg Gibson breaking up that pass play, and it's third down.
Morgan defensively, they'll make some mistakes in their secondary, but the linebackers are pretty good. I mean, we've seen the linebackers. We've seen Aker come up with the interception, and that's Gibson there. So they do a good job with their linebackers in coverage and one-on-one. The key is go back to that second-level throw that you had success with in the first half and get some communication mix-up within the secondary of Morgan State.
3rd and 6. McGee with time and throws a strike to Matthew Colvin. First down up to the 43-yard line of Morgan State. That's a gain of 18.
Yeah, just a good job on the crossing pattern. You're going to see Colvin has been their guy. Gets there, good old-fashioned in route. Throw right on the money. In order to let that route develop, you have to have great protection up front. McGee had a nice pocket and able to deliver a strike to Matthew Colvin.
So the Bison convert on 3rd down. They send in motion Miles Williams, the tight end. McGee overthrows Mercer. It looked like he wanted to throw that ball early, Jay, and then noticed something, pulled it back down, gave it a look, still went to that side of the field, and incomplete.
That little smoke screen he had called where between he and the wide receiver, if you think there's enough of a cushion between the wide receiver and the cornerback, you just get the snap, throw the ball to him right away. But Robert Mercer wasn't on the same page with him. He continued his route rather than break it off. Look at this unbalanced line to the right now by Howard.
McGee just runs out of bounds. You can see the guard, Janier Reyes, number 66, spin out of that left guard side.
Yeah, and take a look. I'll show you the lineman. On that side of the ball, you've got 4 linemen, only 1 at the guard position. They try and get you to commit to the strength of the defense. That way, going to the right, Howard decided to go opposite direction with misdirection, but credit the Morgan State defense. They were not fooled.
Ray is having an issue with the speed of Christopher Robinson of Morgan State. 3rd down and 11. 4 of 8 on 3rd down today are the Bison. McGee going to use his legs, but he's going to be well shy. Needed to make it to the 32. Christopher Robinson running him out, and it's 4th down.
Now this is being picky, but I don't like McGee running around as much. I want you to take a look at the running back right here. Now McGee's going to end up running the football that direction, but this is a simple check down. Tell me, are they covering him at all?
That's wide open over there.
Wide open. It's in your face. Give it to him rather than you run the football. That's a running back. That's what they get their scholarships for. That's where you take the check down. But many strong-arm quarterbacks are always so busy looking downfield that they forget about the little simple 5-yard throw they can pick up 10 yards in the first down.
Especially a back like Freeman, who's very versatile and adept at catching. That's down at the 10. So Morgan State backed up deep in their own end after a 31-yard punt from Fleck.
The potato. It's not.
From their own 10, straight ahead Walker. 21-14, Morgan State leading Howard. This is the conference opener, and I know there's a lot of hoopla here, Jay. You're playing on the field that hosted the Super Bowl this year. This is the 42nd annual New York Urban League Football Classic. But underneath all that, hey, this is the conference opener.
And what's going to be a very competitive MEAC race this year. You do not want to start off season played with 1 loss, because if that happens, then you have to win out to have any chance at winning the MEAC conference. In the MEAC, sorry.
Walker fights his way to the 20. Held up by Cam Alston. It'll be 3rd and 2.
And Morgan has figured out we're stronger than Howard. On the inside, no need to use misdirection. Let's start to wear them out and allow the massive offensive line to push the Powell forward as Walker was able to gain a first down.
Yeah, it was a first down, so 1st and 10. Clock running, under 9 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Also throws across the middle. Ricky Fisk forward to the 32. And a gain of 8 or 9 on first down.
Good look. And we talked earlier. We said if you're going to see man-to-man coverage, you want to see some crossing routes. All you have to do is separate, and then you can get a big play. You beat your one man, then there's more yardage to be made after the catch. The weakness, quarterback 101, the weakness to man-to-man coverage, crossing routes. Crossing routes, vertical routes.
Lee Hull, being a former wide receiver, would know all about that. That was a gain of 10, so it's a first down run here for Walker, who's off to the races. Only Price can catch him now from behind, does so. There is a flag back at the Morgan State 45. Trayvon Hunt able to tackle him from behind.
Holding, offense, number 16. 10-yard penalty, remains first down.
Wide receiver Thomas Martin's hold will bring back a 56-yard run.
Now, it's interesting where the hold occurred. He was already downfield 10 yards where the hold took place. Let's see if we see anything there. Oh, man, I don't know. That was 16, Thomas Martin there.
Didn't see much, did you?
I didn't see much at all.
That's a couple of calls that have gone against Morgan State. The penalty yards, they've been penalized 7 times. Martin, the wide receiver, now wide right. He'll be at the top of your screen. Johnson. Nope. Kept. Well, he pulled that out at the last fraction of a second.
All right, so we talked earlier how they were stockpiling the box to stop the run. Now what do we see here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Morgan gets 6 people in the box. What do? They run the football. So now Morgan State has earned the respect of the secondary of Howard with the safeties. So now Howard's got to respect the pass. They're not willing to commit as much to stopping the run. So the chess match is going back and forth. Once again, they're coming out now. Only 6 people in the box. Look for Morgan State to run the football.
Play fake and a first down catch to the 45 of Howard from Ladarius Spearman.
Great fake. Fool me. I mean, everything said Morgan's going to run the football. They decided to bait him, do play action. Great job of ball handling with the quarterback. Fake it, pull it out real quick, pop pass, open. Great design by offensive coordinator Fred Ferrier.
12-yard pickup, first down.
But you know the difference between a passing attack and what Morgan has right now? In a passing attack, that's a touchdown. You hit him in stride, running down the seam. He makes one cut. He's running to the races.
Walker may be off to the races. Broken ankle tackle, falls forward all the way up near the 30. He is just hard to bring down.
I mean, they are gashing them with their interior running game. They've abandoned the misdirection. They're coming downhill, and they're getting bunches of yards. Herb Walker recognizing if I make one person miss, don't vary too far away from the guards. Just continue to run the ball straight ahead. They're doing a good job.
13-yard run on that last play. First down at the 32 of the Bison. Walker dropped for a loss behind the line of scrimmage. That was a good play by Marquise Blanchard to get into the backfield.
Every time they try and do a counteraction or misdirection with the pistol, Howard's, they're taking the first thing you give them. So they're there for it. So I think what they're trying to do, why Morgan called that last play, when you watch film of them, they give you that same look. and then they fake it and they do a rollout pass. So look for them to get in that formation again and possibly do a rollout pass, play action.
Council pulls it down. Now he decides he will throw it, tried to thread it in there, and did so. Landon Malbrough.
Wow. This was almost a throwaway ball. Good job, I think, to escape the pocket. He's going outside. I think he's going to run. Then he just pulls up once he realizes he won't gain yards. And what a catch. Fantastic job of cradling the football and securing it for the catch.
Malbrough maybe a little shaken up as he lines up there at the top of your screen.
Watch the play action here. Bootleg.
Here it is. But upended Zakanawe. Craig Johnson undercut him. 42nd annual New York Urban League Football Classic in the MEAC opener for Howard and Morgan State. Morgan State not the only Bears to play this weekend on Monday night. Chicago Bears will be here on Monday Night Football facing the Jets. 11th play of this drive for the Bears. Here comes the blitz. And a pass into the end zone. Back in the end zone. Is he in? No, incomplete. Thomas Martin. Is he saying, hey, check that one?
It was close. He got away with a push. But I thought he got the foot down.
Left foot was down. Now, did he keep possession? He's got possession still there. Now, this will tell us if he kept possession. Foot down.
Foot down.
And he's kind of pulling it in.
That's a touchdown. And I think this is a touchdown. That's the push he got away with. He clearly got away with the push. He's got the ball in his hands. He's just pulling the ball towards his stomach to secure it for when he comes up.
So you're seeing enough video evidence to overturn this call on the field.
Yeah, I mean, it's college football. You need 1 foot in. And he caught the ball cleanly the first time, had a foot inbounds. As he was going towards the ground, all he did was secure the football, because in college, in football, when you leave your feet, you must show the referee that you maintain possession of the ball the whole time and show it to him. And I think that's what he did, was just secure the football. But he got away with a push. No question about that one. He pushed off. That's why I thought a flag was going to come out for pass interference. But catches it clean right there. He's got it in his hand. That's the catch. And the ball's not moving.
Morgan State coach is challenging the previous play of an incomplete pass. Morgan State coach is challenging the previous play of an incomplete pass.
Now, I will say that last angle that we saw, it made me question, did that ball move or not?
I think it may have a little bit. Let's take another look.
See, yep. See, he's got it clean right here. That foot is down. We see and then going towards the end of it. He's still got that ball pretty secure. Now, is it indisputable video evidence to overturn the call on the field? That's the catch. But going down, I don't think it moved.
Well,
so we know the catch. He secures it. They're not going to give a touchdown. That last look there, when you saw the ball move just a little bit, that's enough to say, well, the ball might have moved.
Yeah, I think there's. He's pulling it in, but the ball is obviously moving because he's pulling it in. But I think it's moving in addition to the fact that he's just.
So I think he's securing it. He's got it, but right here, the ball moves a little bit, and I think that will probably enough to say, if there's any chance it might have moved at all, then there's not enough video evidence to overturn it. And the call on the field was incomplete pass.
Challenged by Lee Hull and Morgan State.
Well, they're taking a good long look at this, though. Remember, when you watch the video has to show that there is no question that was a touchdown pass. And I think we saw one extra angle where there was a question.
Well, if it comes back or the call is upheld, it would be a 3rd down call from the 16-yard line. If the ruling on the field is upheld as an incomplete pass.
The receiver foot was in bounds, and he completed the catch. He had control. Touchdown.
Oh.
Wow. Okay.
I thought it was a catch. We saw the catch. It was, did he maintain control? And they said that he did. So what I always say about this, Mark, I don't care how long it takes, as long as they get the call right. I mean, that's a clean catch. Going to the ground, he holds on to it.
So a 16-yard touchdown catch for Thomas Martin. And the point after for Moeller, knocking it through. 88-yard drive. Ate up over 5 minutes. And Morgan State has their original 2-touchdown lead back.
Talking about relevance, we're talking about what happened last week.
The most comprehensive college football conversation. Mondays on ESPNU. College football lives here.
Here, we educate tomorrow's leaders today. The Howard Experience allows students to engage in.
Catch for Thomas Martin has made it 28-14. Morgan State on top of Howard. An 11-play drive. And ate up 5 minutes, 15 seconds. And in case you missed it, video of that touchdown now posted on the SportsCenter app. It's available on your mobile devices and tablets whenever you need it.
Martin was averaging almost 30 yards per catch. Now that 16-yard touchdown grab is going to take his average down. Is it worth it for a touchdown? I think so.
Yeah. But 3 yards deep, Terrence Tucson. Not a good decision. Out to the 12. Hey, Jay, give me your HBCU top 5, man.
The power rankings on the bubble. Texas Southern undefeated. What? People can't believe it. Let's see. They're on the bubble. Southern University, defending champs in the SWAC last year. See what they do. South Carolina State, first time in a long time they haven't been in the top 5. They've got to get their act together. North Carolina A&T is a team to watch out for. Be careful. Alcorn State, they're rolling. Many people think they're going to win the SWAC. Tennessee State, Big Blue got beat. They're number 3. Number 2, watch out. We saw, Mark, how good did Alabama State look on Thursday. And number 1, the pride of all HBCU football, Bethune-Cookman, impressive win over FIU. Brian Jenkins continues to have the Wildcats playing at an extremely high level.
Howard begins at their own 12-yard line. McGee all the way back to his goal line and turns and heaves it out of bounds. And now it's Morgan State that's wanting the intentional grounding call.
He was in the tackle box, threw the ball across the line of scrimmage. This is great arm strength. He's moving backwards and deep drop. He's trying to escape, says, oh, nowhere to go. Look at that. That's some arm strength to fling that ball to the sideline, plus 5 yards past the line of scrimmage.
In motion goes Ayigoro. Movement on that left side. A tackle and guard each moved.
False start. Offense. Number 53. 5-yard penalty. Remain second down.
Well, they gave it to the tackle, John Smith, but Reyes, the left guard, also jumped.
Mark, how impressive was that performance we saw Thursday night from Alabama State?
Cyrus, he can run, man.
There are a group of runners right now in HBCU football right now. All of them are under 5'10". Tariq Cohen, North Carolina A&T, special. Malcolm Cyrus, Alabama State, special. Herb Walker, Morgan State, good. Could be special. But they are very exciting, edge of your seat runners.
Dumped off to Freeman. Freeman!
Good call.
To the 24 and a first down. You like that call. Gain of 17.
This is what they're good at. Their draw package and their delay package, they do a really good job of letting them set it up and just slip screen.
Right back to the line and a run for Freeman again, and he bounces his way for another first down up across the 40, knocked out by safety Paul Eatman.
They're trying to pick up the tempo, fell down by 14 points, and they're using tempo, but they're utilizing their running game.
Dumped off to the far side. Igoro made a nice spin move to add another run or two to the 47. Stopped by Christopher Robinson.
You wonder, is this tempo because of the score, or is Coach Harrell saying we've got to get this offense with some energy, some rhythm to get them going?
Probably the latter, but it could be a little of both, couldn't it?
It could be a little bit. But they definitely came out flat again here to start the second half.
Play fake. He finds Colvin. Another first down up to the 42 of Morgan State. And this pace certainly helping the Howard offense. They gained 10 yards there.
And if you can find another playmaker to go along with Colvin, oh, this offense would be explosive. Right now, I'm just focusing on the top of the screen, the left side of the formation where Colvin is. The rest of the wide receiver corps, no real deep threat. They need somebody to emerge.
Run for William Parker. Barrels forward across the 30 to the 28. That's a first down. Tackled by Antonio Jefferson, but
keep going. See, now they're starting to slow down. They've crossed the 50-yard line. They're slowing down. They had success. Rapid fire, get up to the line of scrimmage, call the play.
Parker, 20, 15, hit there, bounced off a tackle down at the 14-yard line. Number 42, Paul Eatman, made the tackle but lost his helmet.
And I would keep going. They've got Morgan guessing where the play's coming from, and this is the big-time hit at the end of the play. Collisions. But see, I would have given up substituting my personnel in just now in order to keep the tempo and the momentum going. Howard wanted to change their personnel and substitute. Therefore, you had to take some time off the clock, and Morgan could substitute as well.
And Eatman had to come out as safety for Morgan State because he lost his helmet on that last play. McGee decides to run. Inside the 5, falls forward to about the 2.
He's got legs. I mean, that's what we talked about in the open. When there is absolutely nothing there, pocket collapses. McGee calls his own number, makes the first tackler miss, almost scores a touchdown. He's a different kind of number 7 you're used to having in Washington, D.C.
First and goal, Parker. Close, but didn't get in.
Flag down. I think maybe offsides on Morgan.
Well, prior to that play, 6 of the last 8 plays run by Howard had gone for 10 or more yards. So they've been gashing the defense of the Bears.
Offside, defense, number 88, half the distance to the goal, still first down.
Half the distance to the goal will be about 4 inches. If that.
Think we're in Greg McGee quarterback sneak territory?
Well, probably so. He's already scored a couple today on the ground. He does keep it. I don't think he got in, though. He went down quickly. And he is shy of the goal line. Well, whatever caused him to hit the dirt or hit the turf, he went down quickly.
They stayed low. Helmet got across, but the ball did not. He's trying to stay low. Head across the goal line, but not the ball.
This time he hands off to Parker. He is in. Touchdown. Second rushing touchdown of the year for William Parker, and it's a drive, Jay, that Howard really needed.
And Parker was a big part of that drive. He had some great runs. Happy to see him capitalize and finish off the drive after hard running throughout that drive.
Point after for Fleck.
When you get in games like this, extra points and special teams become so important. Do not take this extra point for granted.
Drive began at their own 12. 10 plays, 88 yards. 1-yard touchdown run for William Parker, and the point after makes it 28-21. We'll get your NFL Sunday started on ESPN at 10 a.m. It's Sunday NFL Countdown, presented by Snickers. Host Chris Berman and the gang provide all the latest news and updates from the stadiums around the league right up until kickoff. And before you set your lineups, catch our experts. They'll provide their news, injury reports, and predict the top fantasy performers on Fantasy Football Net. They're looking at Parker, left elbow after this TD run.
His running style's a little bit high. And just battle leverage. He took one on the right and left shoulder.
Greg Gibson, number 41. Hit him in that left elbow. It knocked Gibson's helmet off, and it was drawn blood on that left arm of Parker. So minute 7 to go, third quarter. Back to a 1-score game. Ricky Fisk and Orlando Johnson back deep to receive this John Fleck kickoff. A low end over end, bounces at the 10, taken at the 3 by Johnson. Good head of steam, 25-30. He has the kicker to beat. Midfield, down the sideline to the 20, 15, tackled there. Well, it took the track guy Mercer on special teams for Howard to run him down.
We just said in a game like this, when it's very close and tight, special teams don't take anything for granted. Line drive kickoff. Johnson does a great job of fielding it clean with a full head of steam. Makes a quick move on the kicker, and it becomes a foot race.
82-yard kickoff return for Johnson, whose previous long this year kickoff return was 39 yards.
But what a great job by Robert Mercer. Clearly saving the touchdown. And if they can keep him out of the end zone and force Morgan to just a field goal attempt, that play may be a turning point in the game.
Gain of 4, but a late flag. Morgan State scored on their first 2 possessions of the game. They've scored on their first 2 possessions here in the second half. There's the call on the penalty.
Personal foul, offense, number 54, 15-yard penalty, second down.
Dominic Woods, the left guard, called for the personal foul. See, the first 2 drives for Morgan State resulted in the touchdowns. And then the second half, very similar.
Yeah, eerily similar. So look, number 54 plays over, pushes him in the back, won't let him go right in front of the referee.
And pushed him into a couple of his own Morgan State teammates.
You know, he's just a sophomore. We saw earlier the senior tackle Darren Pinnock get on his case. He should get on his case for that boneheaded play there as well.
A strike, Poteet at the 17. And that personal foul penalty changed everything. They were looking after a gain of 4 on first down at second and about 6. But that pickup of 9. Now it's 3rd and 12.
We'll go back to that touchdown saving tackle by Mercer. Huge play.
Looks like the final play of this third quarter, the blitz. He read it well, and a touchdown, Herb Walker. Well, Latavius Matthews, the linebacker, blitzing, and Council got that off just in time to Walker, a 17-yard touchdown.
Fantastic job by Josh Council. Selling it, holding on to that ball to the very last instant. Walker recognized the blitz was coming. Had his clock going off a little bit quicker in his head. The timing was perfect. Great play selection. Touchdown for the Bears.
Walker picked up his 5th rushing touchdown earlier in this half. There's his first TD catch. And Chris Moeller's extra point. And Morgan State back up by 14. Herb Walker's second touchdown today as Morgan State's offense back in gear.
ESPNU College Football Primetime is presented by McDonald's. I'm loving it.
Well, just a little north of us, that's the George Washington Bridge. Spanning the Hudson, we're heading into the fourth quarter. 35-21 Morgan State. What was the second touchdown of the quarter for Herb Walker and his third of the game. Morgan State back to a 14-point lead as it's a kickoff that begins the fourth quarter. From the 3, Tavius Brown spinning at the 35 and all the way up to the 39. A nice return for Brown of 36 yards. Let's take another look, though, at the Walker touchdown run.
Yeah, huge play right here. Devin Rollins, quarterback of the defense for Howard University. He's responsible for Herb Walker in the backfield. Watch what happens as he gets caught. Inside out leverage. Play runs away from him. Becomes a foot race. Walker's going to win that in the open field right there. Poor angle taken by Devin Rollins, allowing Walker to outflank him on the screen, allowing the Bears to score the touchdown.
Walker, who's a redshirt sophomore, part of that impressive class. You see their sophomores very productive, 12 touchdowns. McGee throws on first down and it clinks off Richard Iagoro.
We talked earlier. We know that Matthew Colvin's proven. He's their big play wide receiver. They need another wide receiver to step up and really take the load off of Colvin and help out McGee, the secondary target. And that seems to be what the Bison offense is lacking.
In motion goes Robert Mercer. And off Freeman. Turns the right corner to the 44. We see that misdirection play a number of times from this Howard offense.
They do a good job with it. That's a little trick that Ted White likes to do, the offensive coordinator. Drives defensive coordinators bananas, but they're really good at it. A little freeze draw, misdirection draw, slip screen. He's constantly going to put that in the game at some point. And more times than not, it works. They have success with those type of play calls.
And face a 3rd down and 5 here. In motion, Iagoro. McGee looked in his direction, pulled it down, avoids the sack. Will not get the first down. It'll be a couple yards short of it. He's out at about the 47. It's going to be 4th down and about close to.
Yeah, he has escapability. We talked about that. Poor pass protection. It could have been a face mask possibly, but tucks it and runs and comes up a couple yards short.
I could see him say face mask at the end of the run. Also, when he neared the sideline, he reached the ball in front of him to try to get a little extra, but came up a yard short. So they're going to go for it here. This is quite a call on their own end of the field. They're 1-2 on 4th down today. McGee, where's he going to go with it? And he has the first down catch. Parker up to the 45-yard line of Morgan State. Jay, that play looked like it was going nowhere, and at the last second, he gets bailed out on the pass to Parker.
All Greg McGee. I mean, they played this perfectly. I mean, you see the pressure there in his face. They had it sniffed out. They knew the play was coming. He just extended the play all the way to the sideline, and Parker, who was supposed to be the outlet receiver, ended up coming open very late, and McGee able to prolong the play and allow Parker time to get open.
Jumping Reyes, the left guard.
False start. Offense, number 66. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
That'll back him up 5.
Sit there and talk about what this game means in conference standings. Many preseason projections had Howard projected to come in 4th in the conference, and Morgan somewhere around 8th or 9th, if I'm correct. And now Morgan 13 minutes away from earning Coach Hull his first conference victory, which would be huge. Really setting the Bison back on what they think is a championship quality team.
McGee sets up the screen pass to William Parker. Parker upended at the 37-yard line, but he gained back a good portion of the penalty yardage, and he ran into the official who was hurt. It's the head linesman, Carl Logan, who got whacked at the end of that play. And now Leathers, the referee, and the rest of the crew coming over to check on Carl Logan.
So he's coming to make the call.
You know, when you get a little older, Jay, the agility just kind of leaves you. Glad he's okay, though. A little shaken up. I think he kind of banged his head. But it's a 2nd down and 3. You can see the numbers for McGee's up to 181 yards passing. He came in with a total of 385 yards passing on the season through the first 3 games.
Can't say enough about the career he's had at Howard. He's been the starting quarterback at Howard ever since he stepped foot on campus. 4-year starter. Record-breaking career. Needs to get a victory.
He's going to take off again, using his speed to pick up the first down to the Morgan State 25. Run down by Bradley Sanchez. Well, Morgan State led 14-0. Howard came back, tied it at 14. Morgan State went up again by 14. Howard cut it to 7, and now it's Morgan State up by 14 once again.
Howard needs to go back to that up-tempo offense when they move down the field in a hurry.
Well, they had a lot of success with that on their last drive, and here's looks like the design quarterback draw. McGee still on his feet inside the 10, down near the 6. It'll be 1st and goal, tackled by Deshaun Summers.
What do we talk about the specialty for Howard? Their draw package, whether it's a sprint draw, quarterback draw, delay draw. And McGee's such an athlete at the quarterback position. You know the first tackler is not going to bring him down. Big pickup.
That went for 19 yards. 1st and goal at the 7 of Morgan State.
Timeout, Morgan State. Their first charge timeout.
The Mideastern Athletic Conference, 13.
ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by McDonald's from MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. The annual New York Urban League Football Classic, MEAC opener as well. Morgan State leading Howard 35-21, but the Bison on the move here with a 1st and goal at the 7-yard line of Morgan State. Here comes the 8th play of this drive. Handoff, Freeman. Upended, spun around, down at the 4. Delonte Hall undercut him, and then he flipped in the air and landed on another Bear defender.
Ooh. One get him high, another one get him low. That's good, solid team defense. See the first hit, and then the finishing shot.
Gain 3. It's 2nd and goal from the 4.
And look for McGee to attack the edge.
Fade into the end zone. What the flag was Colvin. Deshaun Summers, though, had the clean coverage, and it's 3rd down.
That was a great play by Summers. That ball was thrown on the money. Summers was in the trail position, but at the very last instant, realized the ball may be coming. He never turns to look. Once his hands go up, puts his hands up, and actually blindly got his left hand on the football.
It's like he had eyes in the back of his head there. Couldn't have timed it any better without looking back. Great play by Summers, a junior out of Hampton, Virginia. 3rd and goal, handoff, Parker. Forward momentum stop, brings the whistle. Decision time here, Jay. I think
you go for it.
You got to go, don't you?
Yeah, I think you go for it. I just
field goal doesn't do you a whole lot of good.
Yeah, at some point, I would have put the ball in Greg McGee's hands. I mean, let him make a decision. He tried the fade pattern, but Morgan hasn't showed an answer yet for him rolling out of the pocket. even when they had the proper defense called, he still was able to get a first down out of it.
So Howard going forward on 4th and goal from the 2. In motion goes Brown. McGee looking like he wants to throw. Does to the end zone, incomplete. He fired a bullet to Colvin. Hall had the coverage, and Howard turns it over on downs.
So hard to go from one side of the field. He's looking to his right. That's not there. Then trying to come all the way back to the left. Great job by Christopher Robinson, not allowing McGee to run for it, forcing him to throw the football. And great play by Delonte Hall, the junior from Fort Washington, Maryland. Able to get his hand in there and knock it away.
So still 10 minutes to play here in the 4th quarter. So if you're a Bison fan, you have to think, hey, put it on your defense here.
Need your defense to get a 3 and out right now. We can not only get the ball back, but get favorable field position.
Trying to get some breathing room. Walker really can't. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage.
I think in this instance here, maybe you try and set up Howard. You line up in the pistol formation and do that play action little pop pass that they hit big early. It's a simple throw. And we saw Council do a good job of faking the run and pulling up and hitting one of the slot receivers.
Fisk is the slot receiver on the left side, and this is a run for Herb Walker. Did that football come free? It did. The Bisons say they have it. The officials have not indicated.
And I think whoever comes out of the pile with the ball is going to have possession of the ball.
And it's Howard.
The way the players on the field reacted, you could tell they saw something that we couldn't see.
The first Morgan State turnover. It's recovered by Damon Gresham Chisholm.
We'll see. He started losing it. That ball was clearly coming out.
Cam Alston knocked it out. Number 10.
The ball's in pretty good position, but we talked about Walker's not the largest running back, and Cameron Alston, the all-conference safety, comes over and delivers a hard hit, able to force a fumble.
And then it's a free-for-all. So each team now with a turnover. Morgan State turned the McGee interception into 7 points. Now Howard will try to turn it into a touchdown of their own. Wow. Well, and then a little pushing at the end may bring out a flag. That's Christopher Robinson, number 55, making the tackle. Lost his helmet, but kept his grip around the ball carrier. He's going to have to come out now because the helmet came off. We got to watch this again and listen in real time.
How does Greg McGee not go down, and how does he not get injured on that play? Oh,
got hit high and low. A run for Parker inside the 5 to the 4.
You have to protect your quarterback. He cannot take that many hits, particularly of that nature. He's strong, athletic, put together, but you have to protect your body a little bit better than that.
Paul Eatman, a safety for Morgan State, is down.
Eatman's a junior from Jersey City.
He's home.
He's home. Hate to see this happen to him in front of his home folks.
While they attend to Paul Eatman, we'll step aside with under 9 minutes to go.
People like to feel safe, and we like our money to be safe too. But when it comes to shopping online, sometimes we don't know who to trust. With PayPal, your financial information is protected.
Click or call. In college football primetime presented by McDonald's. The good news, Paul Eatman got up under his own power, went to the bench. He looks to be okay. Hopefully that's the case. It is a 3rd down and goal from the 4 for the Howard offense. Play fake. McGee running left. He's out at the 2. He reached for the pylon. He thinks he got in, and now the line judge says he did get in. Well, McGee rolled left. Then he kind of slowed down and then sped back up a 4-yard touchdown run.
Yeah, he set him up. Hit was there. That's a touchdown. Great job of sneaking that ball inside the pylon.
Yeah, he definitely hit the pylon, and I didn't see any part of his body that was out of bounds. He was kind of hanging over the boundary line.
If they're going to take a look at this, because they utilize instant replay here, but this should be a quick one.
Yeah, he was airborne.
And once again, Morgan State had the play, but Greg McGee was just a better athlete on that play and able to get to the end zone.
And like you said, you know, he even slowed down, like he was trying to deep the defenders there.
Set him up. The defender might have had leverage, gave him the threat or the appearance of getting ready to slow down and cut to the inside, kept it outside. That was a nifty run by Greg McGee.
Well, if indeed it stands, and it looks like it will, at least from what we've seen on video, they're able to convert after the Morgan State fumble with just a 3-play drive and a 4-yard touchdown run for Greg McGee. And here comes the official call from referee Donnell Leathers.
The ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
And he even said the magic word confirmed, so the video evidence even shows that the call was accurate.
Look at the number of defenders you see. I mean, there are 3 people racing to the pylon. They actually had 4 people in pursuit of McGee. They knew the play was coming when he was underneath the center. But Greg McGee showing the athleticism that Ted White and Jay Walker always wish we had, as he was able to take it in for the score.
So his 3rd rushing touchdown today. So he has 7 rushing touchdowns already this year now, playing in Howard's 4th game of the season. Flex extra point, and it's back to a 1-score game with 8:36 to go. Well, let's take a look at today's Bringing the Flavor, brought to you by McDonald's. Cheerleader cooperation for the TV shot. We thank you, ladies. That's our Bringing the Flavor, brought to you by McDonald's. Fun to be here at the site of last season's Super Bowl. MetLife Stadium.
Well, this is my alma mater, so as the band's been playing, you know, I'm going to call the game like I see it on the field. But
absolutely.
A couple of times I've had to catch myself like not singing the songs that I remember them playing. You know, back when we used to strike up the band and saw the Ooh La Las. Haven't seen the Ooh La Las in a while. The Showtime marching band. It's been a very good football game here.
It has indeed. Morgan State has never trailed, though, in this game. Non-flex kickoff from the 1, Ricky Fisk. Tumbles up to the 23. 22-yard return for Fisk. Morgan State averaging 276 yards rushing per game. They're at 213 as they take over on this drive at their own 24.
They may have to get to their average if they want to win this football game.
Just to, if not score, eat up a lot more clock.
With 8 minutes to go, if they don't get the 276 yards, you have the feeling that they would not have taken enough clock, and that means the Howard offense is going to be back on the field.
But they give it to Herb Walker. That's Johnson actually up to the 35. You know, he's been a nice little addition to the ground game. You mentioned the name earlier, Lamont Brown, who was unbelievably good in all facets of the game for Morgan State, but out with an ACL injury, losing him a big deal. They need a second guy behind Walker.
And Johnson doubles up as a wide receiver and a running back. And when you have that pistol, you need those shifty runners. Orlando Johnson, 5'8", 160 pounds. He fits that mold.
Johnson, remember, had the 82-yard kickoff return earlier in this half. Morgan State wants to speed up this game, let as much clock wind down as possible. Play clock at 5, and Council keeping to the 39 for 4 yards.
And I'm surprised that the officials are continuing to allow the Howard band to play while Morgan State has the ball offensively. That's one of those calls that's kind of unique to black college football. You don't see it called a lot of the large institutions, but the rules are that while the offense has the ball, the visiting team's band cannot play. And the Morgan coaches are saying that on the sideline. They're pointing to the sideline saying, why are you allowing them to play?
Band getting in the act. Delay, Herb Walker. Close to a first down, a couple yards short. Stopped by Devin Rollins. You once again showed your impartiality there, Jay Walker, by calling out the Howard band.
Call it like I see it. Doesn't make me popular some weeks, but it is what it is.
That's the job.
Now, this becomes a crucial 3rd and short situation right here for Morgan State. They need to control the clock. They need to keep possession of the football.
Lee Hull in his first season as the Bears head coach in his first conference game. 7 of 11 on 3rd down. He did not get it. Herb Walker maybe only got back to the line of scrimmage or a half yard, but it's going to be 4th down.
And some of the players say they want to go for it. I don't think there's a chance you go for it here.
No, you got to play field position here, don't you? Punt this away.
Yeah. Now, if you're Howard University, you're thinking don't jump off sides.
Maybe that's what they're going to try to do, is to draw them off sides. They're showing that they're going to go for it on 4th and 1.
They hadn't been under center all day.
Yeah, this is a ploy, isn't it? Yeah. They're going to use their 2nd timeout. Play clock at 1. Actually, they're just going to let it run out. Or did they call the timeout? They got the timeout.
Delay a game. Nope. Offense. Number 15. 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
And you know what I want to say? And that was just bad acting, too. I mean, when you're going to try and pull somebody off, you know, you give them a good effort, you get up there, you give them a hard count. You haven't been under center all season, probably. And then you go underneath, and it was just a bad job. It was just a bad job. I mean, where you were on the field didn't really dictate that you were going to go for it.
Didn't use the timeout, cost him 5 yards, which, you know, you're playing a field position game here. Back at his own 20-yard line is Tavius Brown to receive this punt for Howard. And Howard again with all 3 timeouts remaining, and a pretty good boot. Will actually take a Howard bounce and be down at the 26-yard line. 5:20 to go. Howard down 7, have all 3 of their timeouts, and will take over after a 35-yard punt. 5:20 left. Morgan State leading by 7 on this Saturday in New York City. And Monday, right here, Geno Smith leads the offense. The Jets' dominant defensive line will be tested by Jay Cutler. Rico sits in the seat I'm sitting in, and MetLife Stadium today. All right, big drive here for Howard, down 7. Dumped off. Freeman to about the 23, run out by Peterson Javier. Freeman took a pretty good hit at the end of that run.
You can tell the offense from Howard University started to get some rhythm once they got Freeman involved, William Parker involved, some of the running backs to go along with Greg McGee's athleticism.
Howard band's playing again, even though their team's in possession of the football right now. McGee up the sideline out at the 38 and near the marker.
The Howard band can play all they want. Their team has possession of the ball, so you won't see any complaints. You're really hurting your own team when you do it that way.
And the band is at the side of the field that Howard is driving towards. You see McGee's numbers closing in on 200 passing yards, 3 rushing TDs.
Yeah, if they get closer, you'll see Coach Harrell tell them to be quiet, I'm sure.
Motion Brown. McGee from under center on the play fake. Fires across the middle. And dropped by the wide receiver, Miles Williams. Sounded like it hit him in the pads and popped straight in the air and could not hang on.
McGee throws a strike. That ball has to be caught. Well, that's one where you need somebody to step up. Miles Williams is a nice combination package for them. He plays tight end. He also plays wide receiver. He's got a nice frame at 6'4", 220 pounds. He needs to hold on to the football, help out his football team.
Play fake again. McGee underthrows the intended receiver at midfield. This time, that's Robert Mercer. And a 3rd and 10 upcoming. 4:25 left. They have all 3 of their timeouts, so not 4-down territory at this point, I wouldn't think, Jay.
Depends on how many yards you get. If it's 4th and less than 2 or 3, I think it is. But if an incomplete pass, then I think you have to punt away and rely on your defense one more time.
McGee on 3rd and long. A strike and a 1st down catch to his reliable receiver, Matthew Colvin, at the 48-yard line of Morgan State.
Colvin's his go-to guy. You can look at the linebackers. They're looking, they're dropping. That one threat McGee gives, a stepping up, allows Colvin to sneak in behind.
Colvin was kind of slipping, I think, when he made that catch. He had to reach over his head. 15-yard pickup and a 1st down. Here's that quarterback draw. McGee pounced on top of at the 40-yard line by Joel Scott. 7-yard run.
Effective. One step, make a decision, get upfield. Just don't like to see the hits on quarterbacks at the end of the run.
And Scott jumped on the back of McGee there with all 230 of his pounds. Looking deep, now looking underneath. Freeman dropped it and then took a hit. Got bumped by Deshaun Summers after missing the football.
And that's the catch that Freeman has to catch the first time. He wouldn't get hit as hard. But this is a good read by McGee. If he catches the ball, he can square up the defender, make one cut, make him miss. Instead, big hit by Deshaun Summers put on Freeman.
A couple of drops on this drive for Howard, and a 3rd down coming. They're 6 of 13 today. 3rd and 3, keeping McGee now. A tough attempt by Brown, incomplete. I'm going to take you back to the question I had a few minutes ago. It's 4th and 3 here, but on the Morgan State side of the field.
Yeah, you go for it here. You need 3 yards to keep the drive alive, control the clock yourself. If they get the ball back, you still have your 3 timeouts.
3.5 minutes left in this 42nd annual New York Urban League Football Classic, the MEAC opener, conference opener for Howard and Morgan State. Howard has never led. They're down 7. 4th and 3. Parker barrels forward for a 1st down to the 35. That extends the drive. The helmet of Afanye Agandia of Morgan State came off. He will have to come out.
That shows tremendous confidence in your offensive line. Zone read, and to give it to him, I know as a quarterback, the first thing you're thinking is, I want to pull it and run it myself if I see daylight.
Especially if you're Greg McGee.
Yes, but he had to read his keys, made the right decision. They picked up the 1st down. At some point, you have to think Morgan State's going to bring a blitz to get pressure on McGee.
Wide open, Colvin at the 15, inside the 10. It'll be a 1st and goal for Howard with 3 minutes to go. 28-yard gain.
No threat of a pass rush allowed McGee to get very comfortable and find his go-to receiver, Matthew Colvin, who's been the guy for the Bison all evening long.
11th play of this drive upcoming. McGee rolling left, avoids the sack back at the 20 and is out though at the 10, so he does lose ground about a yard and a half instead of losing maybe as close to 10 where they initially had a shot at him. Joel Scott.
Wow, what a great job by McGee of escaping the would-be tackler Joel Scott. Still able to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Clock running. And Howard has all 3 of their timeouts. Parker inside the 5 and into the end zone, touchdown. And Howard an extra point away from tying this game with 2:27 left. 10-yard TD run for William Parker.
Said it all along. If they can establish the running game to go along with McGee's athleticism, and the running backs have risen to the occasion, William Parker's come in and had a fantastic football game, keeping his balance and able to score.
His second rushing touchdown of the season. Now there is a flag after the play. It's a flag at the 20.
Dead ball, unsportsmanlike, here on the offense.
Well, you're going to extend the point after here, which is not just a moot point when game's possibly on the line.
The penalty we penalize on the kickoff.
Okay,
kickoff, yeah.
There you go.
I figure they do off kickoff, but still in this situation, Morgan, we've already seen Morgan have a fantastic kickoff return already. Now you're going to go back 15 yards, so Morgan is going to get the ball back with pretty good field position with opportunity to try and retake the lead.
Point after for John Fleck to tie this game. And it's 35-all with 2:27 to go. The penalty was called because of that.
They called it for coaches on the field celebrating. And, you know, when we meet with all the officials and everybody before the season, Rogers Redding talked to all of us, and he said they are really going to emphasize coaches leaving the coaching box. In that case there, they're saying, Coach, 10 yards on the field, not acceptable.
Well, it was a 12-play drive, went 73 yards in just under 3 minutes. The Parker touchdown run. The point after has tied it. So the kickoff distance we pushed back as a result of that personal foul. Second touchdown today for Parker.
William Parker really has come through and been the saving grace for Howard University. We knew McGee was going to put up good numbers, highlight plays, but I think it was Parker on the 2 drives where he scored touchdowns this half. That's been a difference in this game. But without his performance, I think Morgan State might have ran away with this football game.
So the kickoff is going to come from the 20-yard line.
Yep. And it allows Morgan State to set up a full return. So they're going to return this ball regardless. And if you're Howard, what you really cannot afford to do is kick the ball out of bounds. So if you're Morgan, you're thinking you're going to get a pretty nice kick down the middle of the field because the kicker is going to be afraid to try and do a directional kick one way or the other. So they have an opportunity to get the ball back in great field position and set up a return.
And you see where Fisk and Johnson are. They're standing up near their own 15-yard line to receive this kickoff from John Fleck. So tied at 35. Howard's been down by 14 points 3 different times in this game. They've come back to tie.
Good kick.
Wow. Back to the 8-yard line. Orlando Johnson. 30, 35, 40, stumbling down at the 44. Man, he had a head of steam, and for a moment thought like he may break it even further before being tackled by Elijah Anglin. But Morgan State in this half, their offense has been purring.
Yeah, they figured out how to get Herb Walker going. The pistol was working. Fantastic catch there. They took a review at it and realized that Martin got it in. And then Herb Walker showing you what a special football play is, taking the screen to the house. Morgan was on cruise control, but all of a sudden the Bison fought back, and it's a tie ball game.
So after the 35-yard return on the kickoff, Herb Walker into Howard territory. a first down run of 14 yards.
Watch how he's running. Is this a guy that fumbled the ball early in the game is not going to risk the fumble this time? 2 hands on the ball at all time. He might have picked up more acceleration had he carried it with 1 hand, but he was protecting the football at all costs. Smart running by Walker.
Kept by Council to the 37.
And game on the line. Where's Morgan running the football? Going back to the interior run game. In between the 2 guards, not the 2 tackles, in between the guards, picking up positive yards.
Looked left, and now Council incomplete. Thomas Martin had his defender beat by a step or so, but then had to come back towards the football, went towards the sideline, and then it sailed over him. Trayvon Hunt, number 38, covering. Well, 3rd and 4. They have 2 timeouts left. Moeller, their field goal kicker, missed from 45 yards earlier, so they're still not within that range.
He wasn't even close from 45 yards. So if you're Morgan, you think you have to get the ball at least to the 15 or 20 yard line to have a chance at kicking a field goal.
Big 3rd down and 4. Delay. Parker broke a tackle, and what a run by Parker. It looks like he has the first down. Walker up to the 32.
Didn't look like it was going to work. Looked like they did a good job of converging on the ball carrier, but this is just drive, determination, foot speed to pick up that first down.
And you see Herb Walker again, especially when that run began. Both arms around the football.
He's protecting that football.
He's inside the 30. Walker again at the 29. Chad Moeller's long this year is 45 yards, but again, he's missed from 45 and missed pretty badly earlier in this game from 45. Draw play again, Herb Walker. Headed to 25.
Well, maybe take a timeout now.
52 seconds left. Down to 50.
I'll take a timeout to catch my breath, let the big hogs up front. And you see Coach still pointing. Why is the band playing?
Morgan State, that's their second charge timeout of the half.
So they have 1 remaining.
And he has a right. He wants to know. He's pointing, saying, why are you allowing that band to continue to play when we have the ball? You know, even when they had the ball back in their own territory, that was the case. And I understand his anger and frustration, but at the same time, you're in a football game right now. Tell the referee, address your concerns, get back to your team, and let them know everything is okay and get your offense going.
You're looking right now, if they didn't advance it any further, at about a 42-yard attempt. So if you're Morgan State, you're not comfortable with that at all from what we saw earlier. But
even though the kicker has a long of 44 on the year, his attempt earlier, I mean, he had 2 shots at it. He wasn't close. One was a timeout was called by Howard.
This is a 3rd down and 3. Walker.
Up the middle.
Very close. We'll see where the spot is.
I think he got it.
Meanwhile, the clock is running. Now they stop the clock. They should put some time back on, shouldn't they?
They should. If that's a first down, then the clock stops in college football after a first down so they can move the change. And if they determine whether or not they're going to move the change, you still stop the clock.
And the officials want to take a look. They're going to measure number 1, but we'll see if they're going to add some time here. And we're finished here. Sports Center U, the impact of the Jameis Winston suspension, that Florida-Alabama game, and take you all around the top 25 when we're finished here on Sports Center U. Wow.
Ooh.
Wow. Short by inches. And now your decision here, a couple of things. I mean, the clock's going to restart here because it was not a first down. They have 1 timeout remaining. It's going to be 4th down. do you give your kicker a chance? Now you're looking at.
Did you see the same field goal attempt I saw earlier today?
It would be about a 39-40 yard attempt here. So
what would you do, Mark?
I'd go for it, but they're sending the field goal unit out.
Oh, wow.
So they're going to give Chris Moeller a chance to ostensibly win the game. There is 32 seconds left.
Howard, first charge timeout of the half.
And Howard's going to use their first timeout of the half. And maybe if you're Morgan State, you use this as a time to maybe reconsider here on 4th and inches.
Yeah, but you also have to consider they have that ball on the right hash. And that angle there, so often we see them have difficulty trying to pull a kick between the uprights. If it were right in the middle, then maybe I'd feel a little bit more comfortable about it. But I don't know if I agree with the decision right now to go for the field goal. You need 3 inches. We started off the show saying this is the largest offensive line in FCS football. They're larger than the FBF boys. They can't get 3 inches. You don't deserve to win the game.
You know, the spot of the football, it's that far right now that we're talking to give Morgan State a chance.
Yeah.
We'll see if perhaps with this timeout, maybe Lee Hull reconsiders, but it looks like he's going to try to kick a field goal here.
That's why we're up here. We call it like we see it, but I think the decision would be to go ahead and try and get the first down.
So you're looking at a 38-yard attempt for Chris Moeller. It has the distance, and the strategy pays off. Moeller gives Morgan State a 3-point lead with 28 seconds left.
That is knowing your football team and trusting your personnel.
It wasn't the prettiest kick, but it had the distance and was true.
And that's why you love college football. He looked bad earlier in the contest. The opportunity for redemption, he redeemed himself very well.
You saw Lee Hull kind of walking on the field and his assistants pulling him back like, no, we don't need a 10-yard penalty on this kickoff. Well, Chris Moeller, give him credit for bouncing back. He has his team 28 seconds away from a win in the MEAC opener, but Howard does have 2 timeouts, but only 28 seconds remaining.
How huge was that penalty on the celebration?
That's the difference.
Little things.
And besides the penalty, the kickoff was returned 35 yards to set up the field position for Morgan State. To set up the 38-yard field goal for Chris Moeller. And that's
a good job.
Short up to the 49-yard line.
Great job by the up man. Fielding it cleanly, getting a return now. Howard's 25 yards away.
Atavius Matthews, number 19, did not fall asleep.
Well, I mean, they got the ball on the 50-yard line. They can get that ball to the, even if they get it to the 30, they're going to get a shot. But if they get it to the 25-yard line with a strong arm quarterback like McGee, or you're one McGee scramble away from getting in field goal position.
McGee got to take off. He runs for a first down, slides down at the 37. The clock will stop with 16 seconds left to move the chains, but see Fleck 0 for 2 so far this season. He's missed from 28 yards at Rutgers and missed from 43 as well. To the sideline, underthrown and incomplete.
And he had him. With the timeout, had he been able to make a more accurate throw, make the catch, call timeout, they were in field goal range. That ball just misses low. Mercer not able to come up with it.
9 seconds. They have 2 timeouts. A completion to the 20 and a quick timeout could still give them a chance here, Jay.
And with 2 timeouts, they can still attack the middle of the field. So I'm looking for something vertical up the middle.
McGee.
What a rush.
Sacked. Back at the 48. Timeout. Howard with just 3 seconds left, but a big sack. Christopher Robinson and Halancy Gates.
And Christopher Robinson is the hybrid linebacker slash defensive end that allows defensive coordinator John Morgan to do the things that he does with this penetrating defense. You're going to see him just beat his man right away. Robinson with the initial pressure, followed by Gates, number 88, up the middle. But there's a reason why Robinson leads this team in tackle for losses. He's got, coming into tonight's contest, he had 4 sacks, make it 5, and that was a big one.
A loss of 11 yards, so it's going to come down to this final play. McGee has the arm to get it in the end zone from midfield. But it's going to take a minor miracle for Howard here to pull this game out.
And I'm telling you, this victory here by Morgan, this will send shockwaves throughout the Mideastern Athletic Conference. Let put everybody on notice. This is a Morgan State football team that can put some points on the board and run the football. 3 seconds away from Coach Hull's first conference victory.
Last chance for McGee and the Bison. And that's going to do it. They sack it back at the 45. And indeed, Morgan State sends a message to the rest of the MEAC as they win it here in New York City, 38-35.
They fought hard. The offensive line for Morgan State, good as advertised. They were big. They took it to Howard. Not enough time for the Bison.
Sports Center U coming up next. Well, the field goal for Chris Moeller from 38 yards proves to be the game winner inside the last 30 seconds. What a game here in New York City. For Jay Walker and our entire crew, I'm Mark Neely. Thanks for sharing this one with us. Sports Center U coming up. Let's send you to Brendan Fitzgerald, Jason Sehorn, and Charles Arbuckle. Guys.